I'm still working. I'm still working on some projects right now, so I'm not going to get much sleep anyway. But anyway, um, I am curious. I want to put this request out. I'm curious why you have a website active right now. You have an active website, but your carts have been closed almost going on around 2 months. Your carts have been closed. This is the one we purchased through his account, and basically the item was never shipped to us. Actually, the money was put back into our account. Hold on for a minute. Let me turn this aside real quick. I got my paper here, get my office up here ready to restock some orders. Get ready for orders. So let me show you something right here, people. First things first, my name is Kenneth Behr. If you don't know me, Kenneth Crystal is the technology screens. And we just have two individuals that basically constantly bark all the time, but they don't back anything up. So right here, let me show you something. And this is, like I said, it's interesting that for some reason his marketplace is closed. Now it was only one option that was open at one point, and we purchased something from there, but that money was returned back to our account because they couldn't ship the order out. So I found that kind of interesting that you're going to sell items, but they can't ship out the items because at the end of the day, the money goes back into our account either way. Let me see if I can find that email. Sorry, I got a stack of freaking ship outs that just went through. Let's see if we can track down that money that went back to our account. Refund was from who? Refund services. Let me see. Who was this for the refund services right here? All right, that's Crow. Money went back into our account. Let me see. Refund. I got to issue a refund too for somebody else about something else. We can't ship something to them. Some got caught in the middle of shipping. I got to contact them. Let me see. PayPal. So that's Crow. All right, that's his. Who was the other fellow who came out? It was Crow. And let me see. Now this is our transaction from Crow, because we placed the order through him, and this time he didn't cancel the order. He tried to sit on the order. I literally tried to keep the money. That's what he tried to do. He tried to keep the money, and they tried not to ship the item out. We had to file a complaint through PayPal to get them to send the item even faster. And he basically just gave up and gave us the money. That's one of the transactions right there. Anytime you see me talk about somebody, this is what I talk about where the other fellow, PARTAY, basically claimed in his backyard that he ordered from us and we gave him back his money. No, that wasn't. You got to show those receipts, man. You got to show that document showing that money went back to that account. If you can't show those documents, then basically that's hearsay. So I can come here and show you documents right off my account where you put that money went back in our account because you couldn't ship out the item. I don't know what your excuse was or what was going on, but you couldn't ship out the item, or unless you didn't want to ship the item out because you know that your product doesn't work. So let me see right here. Let me see. We got it here somewhere. That's where PayPal notified them. Let me see. This is where the case was open. That was the first one from Crow. Went back into our account from him. It's the open case. This is the open case. Yes, the open case. All right, let's go right here. Right, this is what we're going to do with PARTAY. So it would be somewhere up in here. Let's see. Nope, that would be it. That's still Crow. I'm trying to remember who was before. Was it Crow or PARTAY? Which one was which before? Here we go. I think this is it. Hold on a minute. Here it is. We found it. This is the money that was put back in our account because, as I said before, these are individuals that cannot back their products, and they can't back their products. We've actually placed orders through Crow around 14 times. We've placed orders through PARTAY one time because He had nothing in his shopping carts available. His shopping carts were all closed except for one was open, and it was something called Vega, whatever it was. It was like a dark gray screen. So he placed the order for that one, and what happened was we didn't receive any tracking number, no confirmation, no emails, nothing, not a thing, not even an update on the order at all, nothing at all. Very unprofessional. If someone's placing an order through you, you can't basically go in and just basically just honor the agreement, just pay and do what you're supposed to do. Now, as for them placing orders, they have not. Neither one of us ever placed orders from our sites. Never. We never received an order from PARTAY, and we never received an order from Crow. If they received an item from us, it should have been packed in the same package that we pack our packages in. And even with that, the only way you would have a 100% real phantoms you can draw on a screen with black paint. So the beta testers will be showing it off. They're not beta testers, people that have, we have customers that we trust that will be showing that off sooner or later. Anyway, getting back to this, I don't know how in the world that you're trying to mimic or try to fake demonstrations with other people's products when you can't even back your own product here. And here's the document from PayPal where we placed the order through Partay's website. We received no confirmation number, no email, no tracking, nothing at all from him. Not at all, not a thing, nothing. I guess he was trying to keep the money. I don't know. And then we had to go through PayPal because we knew if we waited, he probably would have sat on that order for at least about a couple of months or a couple of weeks, would have never sent our item to try to keep the money. So we went through PayPal, we filed a have not received complaint against them and requested the item be shipped, that we did not want the money, we wanted the item. They had 10 days to provide a tracking number. And within the 10 days, we got the money back way before the 10-day period because they knew they weren't sending that paint here because it was not going to work. So Partay and Crow, just a reminder, you've already been reported. Well, actually, Crow was reported to the Better Business Bureau. My attorneys took care of that mess. As for Partay, your site is being cited as fraud due to the fact that you could not ship an item out. You did not provide tracking numbers. You did not provide customer information, nothing at all, not even an update, not a thing, quiet as a mouse. So at the end of the day, you tried to steal from me by trying to take my money and not give me anything in back in return. And I purchased off your site, which we have your site marked as a buyer beware, do not buy or purchase. Well, you can't purchase anyway. There's nothing available on this website. But for a person who's claiming this product to be the best of the best or whatever it's supposed to be, you cannot deliver on your product to the point where we had to go in and file a claim against you because you could not ship out the item that we ordered, which also too, like I said, find it kind of interesting that the fact that in the end, when I wanted to purchase that product, I had been in that shopping cart maybe a month and 2 weeks. I've been in that shopping cart and no one was buying his products because if you only had one item in the shopping cart and the minute I purchased it, the shopping cart automatically closed. Either you had one item in stock, and that means a month and 2 weeks, no one bought from you. So that's interesting. So it shows your product doesn't work at the end of the day. Or the fact that you were sitting in the shop, in the website, and you saw my order go through, and you decided to make sure that I didn't get any more paint from you from that particular shopping cart and close it completely. So this is the site, which is buyer beware. Be careful. Do not buy on this site. We can't buy anything at all because, like I said, for a person who's advertising his product, it's supposed to be this new product. It's supposed to be an optical screen paint and all this other nonsense. His items are not available. So this is the one we purchased. This is when we got our money back on our account. So we paid for right there because it was the only one open. And that item was never, ever shipped out. We received no tracking numbers, nothing at all, period. But you can't buy anything because the website is closed down. You might say closed down. It's been closed for a month. All these from here on in, except for not that we bought from here. It's when we bought. We got our money back from PayPal. But all these right here are actually I've never seen them open. Never have seen them open. So I don't know how in the world you have an active site that, mind you, we can go back to, let me see if I can go back and find the old videos where you were advertising that your items were going to be available in October of 2021. Because right here, you have nothing here. If I click on any one of these right here, it doesn't give a date. Well, you can't click on it. It says sold out. Oh, yeah, you can't click on it. There you go. So it's posted right here that the item is sold out. Shopping carts are disabled. So I don't even know how you are going about basically claiming your product to be this, that, and the other when you don't even have your product available for anybody to buy. We can't even buy it. Now, let me see. Let's go back to here. We got two of these to do today. Another one on Crow on him too also. So let's go back to, let me see. Let's go back to my videos. And let's go back to, let me see. Not that one. The older ones we first started off on this website. Yeah, it would be a little farther up. I wonder. Let me see something in here. I'm gonna pause. Now, at the end of the day, as I said before, your product alone, when it comes to the instructions, here we go, found it, told you. So bottom line is, on your site, you had it posted that your product was going to be available around coming in September of 2021. I knew it was on here somewhere. You went in and took this off because you couldn't post a date up there due to the fact that you can't deliver on your product. So you see right there, PARTAY, where it says coming in September of 2021. This is your product right here. You removed this off your listing. I told you I saw this on there when we actually went into your site. I've been to your site quite a few times to actually look at what products you have available for us to bring it down here for testing. And the only one you had available was that Vega. And that's what we ordered, and that's what was canceled. But right here at the bottom, right here it says coming in September of 2021. You turned around and you removed that because you don't this product, you can't launch it. You don't, either you don't have it, or you're just posting stuff, or you're taking money from people, and at the end of the day, you can't deliver, because that's what it's saying right there. This is supposed to be a new form of ambient light rejection paint. Now, we come out of here, and we go over to your site here, and you don't have it here anymore. It's not even listed. It's not listed in any one of your shopping carts. It was right there. See where it says right here? This is where you had it listed, right at the bottom. You got to be careful about basically talking trash, because at the end of the day, like I said, not only can I back it up, but I can show where you're a potential liar and how you basically, I knew you were in there changing your site out. We knew it. We saw things changing in your site. So right there, that's where you post it when your product was going to be coming out right there. See that right there, Partay? See where it says at the top, where it says best friend, the ambient light? See that right there? This is how we know that you got scared and you backed down. Because now you can't put a date up as you're going to basically, if you're afraid to open your shopping carts because you're afraid that we're going to purchase your product as we did, and you're afraid that if we get it down here, it is not going to work the way it's going to work. So if you had a true 100% phantom over there, it would have dominated your screen with no problem whatsoever. If that wasn't the case, you wouldn't have a problem with us buying and purchasing your products and bringing it down here for testing if they actually did work. And you didn't buy from us at the end of the day. I don't know where you got. You claim you got something from us or whatever it is. I don't know, because you didn't order anything from us. So unless you did what Crow did, made a fake paint and try to claim it as ours, that's the only way. But here you go right there. There is your date that you were supposed to be posting your items to be available right there, coming in September of 2021, which right around in October is when we were actually in your site. And then we come over, hey, Partay, how you doing? I know that's you. We know it's you. We did a trace on your IP address. We know it's you. Anyway, and this is you right here on your site right here. Now, it's no longer there. Yeah, we know that's you, Partay. We know we did a trace on your IP address. I got IT techs over here. I'm IT tech myself. So, yeah. All right. Protect it. See at the bottom? Not even there anymore. He removed that. The reason why he removed that, he can't put a date in when he's going to launch the product if he can't launch the product to begin with because he's afraid to. I told you we had that. We know you were changing your site. So you had to remove your launch date. As a matter of fact, your launch date was quite late because we purchased in October. That's when we purchased. So, as I said before, this is the cart. This is your shopping cart. Here's your website. There's a listing right there. See how that is missing at the bottom? Go right over here. Blow it up. There we are right there. Coming in September 2021. Now, keep in mind, this is an individual who built a website, talked all this trash about having optimizing and this, that, and the best, not a paint, it's this, that, and the other, so and so and so. You talk all this nonsense about your product, and here you are, your shopping carts are locked. You can't open them up. You know why you can't open them up? Because of me. That's why. That's why you canceled the order. You didn't cancel the order, you sat on it. You didn't even acknowledge the order went through at all, due to the fact that you would not let that order come here to begin with, because you know what's going to happen. We would have tested that on every level. It would have been a nightmare for you to watch your product being under that kind of ridicule testing, especially when you don't do your test correctly, especially when you fake your demonstrations. Your product would have been put through the test. That's what you were afraid of. Let me come over and show you right here. There we go, Partay. And there's our proof that we purchased your product right there. That's the date we ordered, December the 9th, 160 bucks. There it is right there, Partay. And there's the case closed by PayPal in our favor. You know why? You settled before 10 days. You had 10 days. It's not hard to give a tracking number. I do tracking numbers. I do tracking numbers overseas and here in the United States. It's not hard to do that. I'm coming at you to do 30, 40 packages. And how hard is it to ship out one item? You couldn't ship it out because your product doesn't work at the end of the day. I don't even know why you come on here trying to do fake demonstrations or criticize. You have no right, you and Crow both have no right of criticizing anybody's work at all, period. You two are the biggest clowns and when it comes to home theater projection. You are the biggest clowns. That's like a Screen Innovation or Black Diamond, any one of these big companies, Elite Screens, talked all this stuff about their products being the best, the best, the best. But every time you go to the website to order, it's not available. Or when you buy something, they're giving the money back to you. There's something, that's a huge, something's really wrong there. Crow, we have 14 returns on him alone, 14 alone. And let me show you Partay. Next time you go in your backyard and you talk a whole bunch of trash about how we canceled an order, you need to show one of these right here. This is a document that shows that the money was returned back to the account. That's what these are. can't just go in your backyard and run your mouth for the sake of just running your mouth, because it's hearsay and it's stupid. You're a grown man. I mean, you should know better by now, at the age you are, that you have to show documents to back up your what you're talking about. So I told you when I said that when I was in your channel previously, I saw some things in your channel. We can go back and see where you changed things in your site to pretty much try to hide things. But the simple fact that you could not ship out an item, you couldn't provide a tracking number, no information, didn't respond back to any of our emails. Number one, shows horrible customer support at the beginning of the day. It's horrible to begin with. Number two, you are afraid to ship out a product because you know it's not going to work. I can make your product from just looking at it. I know exactly how it's designed. It's the same thing as crows. It's a black and white and make sure that's what it is. There's no optimization and none of that stuff. We've requested you to show a proof of what the difference between if you were to take out 2 of the applications or 3 or whatever, or somebody missed a couple applications, if they didn't let it set, was there a difference between the screen setting between 2 and 3, maybe 5 and 6 minutes, has to be set evenly before it dried. These accusations that you make against your products, you have to be able to back them up, and you have not done this yet. If you paint the screen the 5th time, it actually brightens the screen. It gives you a more higher gain in a well-lit environment. I'll take that outside and I'll test that theory myself. So you didn't do that either. How many certified screens has your product been tested against? Ultra short throw projectors. What's the distance throwing a low lumen projector at 22 feet against certified screens and a color reaction? Have you done any of those at all, period? Outside demonstrations on screens bigger than 100 inches. Good gracious, that screen you just showed, that was just definitely horrible. You got to do bigger than that, much bigger than that. So it's stuff like that that we picked up in your demonstrations that we knew your product wasn't worth the time. The incident outside, you're doing a paint on demonstration on the screen, you just paint it. I mean, you should have did it on a much larger size, because it's going to be a huge difference of painting a screen that's 2 by 3. Then the screen is going to be 4 feet by 7 feet, putting on the exact same application. It's going to be a much more work on a screen that's a much larger size. Plus, on top of that, the drying time is going to be a little bit longer. You count it as setting time was supposed to be 2 to 3. So what if the screen is bigger than and it's using more paint? Wouldn't the setting time be much more of a longer time, like maybe like 10 to 20? See, this is stuff you didn't put in there at all, period. A lot of questions with your products. And that's what we want to do. We got it down here. We were going to test it to see exactly what would happen. 2 to 3, probably like 5 to 10 for the screen to settle. I've never heard of that. It's the dumbest thing I've heard in my entire life. There are just some things in his explaining his instructions that were just downright just idiotic. The whole thing about taking 5 to 7 days for a screen to dry. No one in their right freaking mind is going to wait 5 to 7 days for a screen to dry, especially in motorized. I'm about to paint a motorized pretty soon today, and it's not going to take 5 to 7 days for that screen to dry. That's a nightmare for anybody. Instructions on how to stir the paint. In the demonstration, you missed that one twice. I don't even know how, but you did. You missed your own instructions. You explained on there that the screen had to be about a length or whatever between the middle and the end. It had to be 3 inches in width. And you said 2 on it. So like I said, you get mixed up in your own stuff. But at the end of the day, we can do a whole topic on your instructions alone, which we've done already. This right here backs up 100% why your product is a failure and why people shouldn't buy it. Because as I said before, you cannot back your own product at the end of the day. It can't be backed. This is why we had, money back in our account, because you couldn't even you couldn't deliver. Couldn't deliver the item. And then here, your shopping carts are still closed. Every last one of them are still closed. You had a date posted at the bottom that they were going to be available in September of 2021. I kept saying October, but September of 2021, to find out that you removed the date altogether because you're never planning to launch them, because you can't launch them. The minute you launch that product, if we buy that product again and you show that you sit on the money again the second time, that's going to look even worse for you. Every time you do that, it's going to look even worse. You have fear that one of our customers or people we do business with will purchase your products, and they will purchase your products, and they will have them shipped down here for testing, as we had to do to get Crow's products down here. And that's the best way for you to be able to stay away from this altogether and not be outed for what your product is a complete fake, is to keep your shopping carts closed. And that shows you at the end of the day, when I told you that I could shut your store down easily. Now I got a 38 waiting for your shopping carts to open up. I told you 38 will be waiting for you when your shopping carts open, and when they do, I won't be buying from you because I know you'll basically cancel my order, but I got customers and friends that will buy from you and get the product down here. So let's see how long the shopping carts stay closed. I'm guessing they're indefinitely going to be closed. I don't think they're ever going to open up. Like I said, he can't basically deliver on the product. He can't. We called his bluff. He went and we purchased, and that was it. Same thing with Crow. Went in with Crow and called his bluff. He canceled out too also. I forgot to put something in that caption too real quick. See about that. Let me see. And I knew I saw that somewhere. I said, wait a minute. I know we recorded that. We definitely recorded that. So he's done. He's done. He can do, like I said, when people come in the room talking about, oh, you know, it doesn't make a difference if he does a review. At the end of the day, if he had the real deal, that stuff would wipe his product out easy with no problem. If he was able to beat a Phantom, that's a complete lie. I know that from the door. And in fact, if he could beat a Phantom, then you wouldn't have any problem with shipping your paint over here for us to do testing live. You wouldn't have any problem with that. The simple fact that you basically sat on an order and your shopping carts are locked to make sure no one gets anything from you clearly shows your product does not work. And let's finish this one up too, because I wanted to add something else on here too. And Will Crow, we're going to add something more to this. All right, so we got on that one. I had to add that because sometimes when you do a live stream, they will only give you like 60 to put in there. So we need to know if Crow is going to review the digital1crystal. We've been asking him to do that for the longest time, and he has not done that at all. I don't know why, but he refuses to do that particular demonstration against that paint. At the end of the day, like I said, he won't do the mixes that we did for free or using his tutorial, and he will not use the review against the digital1crystal screen paint. We did offer to ship him out for the containers before we posted onto the website, but we did offer to ship out 4 of the containers to him for him to be able to make the product live on camera. He basically didn't, and we bothered with it, period. He didn't reply back. He replied back with a video, but we're not watching the video. Reply back with an email, a yes or no for the review. Because I don't want to ship something to someone's house at the end of the day, they didn't ask for it, you know what I mean? So we wanted his permission in order to ship the item out. And he never replied back, never got a reply back at all. We never got an email. We got some video he did, but you need a video to say yes or no on an email. You can send an email, we can get that information from you. So he refused it. All right, so we built the website because after asking him 2 and 3 weeks and 4 weeks in, he's not going to do the review. We basically built the website, gave out the ingredients for free to everybody, so everybody has it. And then from there, we got a chance to talk to him in a live stream. He came on a live stream, cutting up and carrying on as usual. You know what I mean? Just doing dumb stuff, acting like a child. And then I said, look, here's the ingredients. Here's our test on our black paint, stuff like that. How about you do all the tests under the black paints? How about you do all the tests under the digital1crystal screen paint and black and white paint products? Sent him the link directly to his page where we were talking with him directly, and nothing was made. Nothing was done. So we'll send it to him again. Let me see what we got going on here. I need to get we have all the ingredients right here. All right, this is all the ingredients, all our demonstrations right here. Yeah, we got everything here. Okay, cool. So you guys can go and get all this information right from here. This is a free paint. These are our tests right here. This is under the digital1crystal screen paint. Right there, including our Black Friday, our Christmas sale. So we have 7, 8, okay, okay, we had a Cinemax, all these are here, all these here. I thought we had one actually a little earlier than this one right here. Where's the website? Website is right there. All right, cool, everything's there. So I'm putting this link at the bottom for you guys right now So you can have this right from the door. Now this is what we sent over to Crow. We sent over the website under Digital One, which you can go and you can copy down the ingredients right from there. Nothing has to be shipped to his door. He want to get into an argument with me about shipping the item to him. Dude, there's no point in me shipping to you. Go to the website, get the ingredients, make it live on camera so everybody can see it. So we'll talk to him again today. Since he wants to talk trash, we'll go right over to his site, go directly to his site, see if he'll pop up. If he pops up, we will send him the ingredients and ask him, hey, look, can you make this today? Can you make all the ingredients, make them live on camera so everybody can see the side-by-side demonstration? At the end of the day, the customer needs to know, are they getting a real product or are they getting just a black and white paint? If that's the case, you just make the Digital One for free. And that's the case. Also, too, we'll give him the link to the video he deleted off his account. We'll get ingredients that we made from the black and white product, and he should make them on live so everybody can see them. Now, the reason why he's not going to do this, and I'll tell you why. He's going to avoid this at all costs, and he's going to keep avoiding at all costs due to the fact that it's going to match his product 100%. If it wasn't, he would have done the videos by now. We've been asking, we were a month in asking him to do this, a month in asking him. This is something you take care of right away, right from the door. And this is something he has not been able to do right away, right from the door. And we've sent this to him twice, these requests twice to him, and still hasn't done them yet. So there's information right there. We're going to activate that right now for you. So that's activated. So in here you have our test demonstrations. Our test demonstration dating back from 7, yes. Gunmetal demonstrations test. At the bottom we have the Cinemax. We have ingredients for digital crystal screen paint. We have ingredients for the, oh, this is a new one, the digital ice. So you have the new one. We put on these posts on the website. We have a YouTuber who basically put out his formula. That's the YouTuber's formula right there. So you can make that for yourself. He can make that one too. We suggest him make that one too live on camera so everybody can see it. There is another customer who, not customer, but I guess he's a person who didn't like Crow too much about the whole theory. But I told you, anytime an item can be working perfectly fine, the minute it ends up in his hands, it doesn't work that well. This is a customer who caught him doing something deceitful. This right here is Crow's free mix right here. This is the one very important. This one shows you how we made the product by using his tutorial video. This video was deleted off his account. There is ingredients for UV, Metallica Mix Personal, and then right there is a website for the Digital Crystal Screen Paint Free Mix where you can make it yourself. We are going to send over to Crow today all of these right here. So you can have the first one we're going to send over. But first we're going to talk to him first. If he doesn't come up and he doesn't speak to us, we don't send it. Because that'd be spamming him. That's what it would be. We need to talk to him, have a conversation with him and say, look, this is what we need you to do. So he can understand we're not just sending stuff for the sake of just sending stuff to you. We're talking to you. Hey, look, can you do me a favor? Can you make this live on camera, each one of these, so everybody can see this? All right, this is what we need you to do. So let's go pop over to his site right now. I'm pretty sure he should be popping on. And usually if he doesn't come on, he's ignoring. The reason why he's ignoring now, because usually he's always on talking, always talking. But the reason why he's probably going to ignore is because we're going to ask him again up front to do this. And he should have no problem doing this. If his product is the best of the best, what's the problem? All right, let's go to, we're going to go through our link. That's what we like to go through the link. So right there, we'll show you the transaction. We had 2 of these transactions. Like I said, this is Partay's right there, who could not deliver his product. And at the end of the day, I can tell you, Partay, right to your face, your product probably, it doesn't work. I believe it doesn't work at all, period. After I seen it match that wall, after going through that whole optimization and stuff, you're talking about how the screen paint does this and that, and it matched your wall in your theater room. Yeah, and the fact that we asked you to request you to do that on a much larger scale and you refuse to do it, that's a huge, massive red flag. The fact that you changed dates on your site, now you removed any form of information, any form of possible ship out on your product, clearly shows that your product, your website's done, it's locked for good. You're not launching anything off of there at all, period. So, and then the fact that we ordered from you, from the one remaining site, Behr, which is when you claimed you did this review against our product against, that's what we ordered from them. And guess where that money went at? Went right back into my banking account. There you go. He's afraid to ship it out. So it doesn't work. So let me see. Let's go over to real quick. I'm going to pop out of this one. Let me see. And here's another one right here. So you can see this right here. This is one for Crow. Crow screen paint right there. Yeah, we had to follow one against him. So we ordered through Crow, placed an order. And this is where Crow went crazy in the shopping cart. So he went into the shopping cart. So we're in the shopping cart in the middle of a live stream making a purchase through his website. He went and he changed the price from $258, gouged on the price, delivery in the middle of a transaction. You do know that we definitely did file a report with Better Business Bureau for fraud against your website due to the fact that we have proof that in the middle of a transaction of purchasing and talking to the owner of the website, Crow went in, or Jamie Fernando went in and changed his prices right in the middle of a conversation. That is fraud. We just filed a report, had my attorneys go over and file a report with Better Business Legal Department on basically getting the process together for your website and your business to be investigated, because you don't do that. If you are on a site and say that the price changes, well, that could be the person editing the site. You know what I mean? But if you're having an exact conversation with the person who has the site and he's making these statements about charging up or jumping the price, you got him already. That's a fraud charge right from the door. Can't do that. Can't do that, people. Nope. And then not only that, the pictures of you sending over of my derriere and stuff like that, and the way you were talking, very unprofessional, and the way you're carrying on, yeah, that's bad. That's very bad for you. That's really bad. So that right there is a huge mark against you right there alone. Should have never done that. I told you, when you come on, you talk to somebody with more respect. You don't have to speak to people like that at the end of the day. I don't do stuff like to you at all, period, but you do it to other people. So at the end of the day, like I said, I'm a customer. It doesn't make a difference if I have a business or not. I am your customer at the end of the day, and that's not how you treat people. So right here is the money. We went in, and we weren't going to purchase at first. We went in to talk to him about basically making the products. But then I made a comment about, I should order some paint, because he was running his mouth. So I'll order some paint. You'll cancel. You'll put it back in my account because you can't deliver your product. You don't have no faith in your product. So in the process of this conversation, he went and started changing his prices in the middle of a live stream. In the middle of a conversation with him, he started doing this. And I think this has got to be the dumbest human being on the face of the planet, because now I have an actual recording of you price gouging, and you can be investigated. Not only that, the pictures that you displayed on there thinking to be funny, that's been reported to Wix legal department of basically your activity and how you carried yourself. And that's a violation. Your site could be shut down for that. Stupid stuff. Do not act like an adult. Now, if I'm talking to somebody, I'm not doing stuff like that. Then that you posted my phone number, that's another violation. I definitely can have your site shut down automatically for that. Gone, just like that. But I'm going to show you right here. So this is the money that was returned back in our account from Crow. After he tried to gouge us for $258 for paint, we went in and we still got it for $89. Mind you, the sale price he had on the product was for $80. He couldn't change it back fast enough to the original price. He left it at $89, and that's what we paid for. And he decided to sit on the order and try to keep our money also. So at the end of the day, you and PARTAY tried to steal money from me because I made a purchase for your products. You did not contact me, no email information, nothing at all. You wouldn't speak to me at all. You tried to keep my money. I had to go through PayPal in order to speed up the process to get the merchandise because you refused to. And even from PayPal, we can use them in court if we want to testify that we wouldn't file the claim. We escalated the claim. We've requested for our items, and you came in and canceled the orders ahead of due date. All right, then. There we go. See, instead of coming on camera and talking all this trash about my product and this, that, and the other, I can beat your product, number one, prove that you're terrified of my work, and on top of that, at the end of the day, show documents. You're showing the way you carried yourself in your transactions. You don't have anything like this on me. You don't have one piece of paper showing me ever canceling an order from you. Not one, because you've never placed an order through my site at all, period. But not one. Lesson to be learned, PARTAY, before you start walking around in your backyard spewing out all kinds of dumb nonsense. Make sure you have a document to back it up. Then at the end of the day, you don't look like an idiot. All right, let's go over to, and now we're going over to requests. We're not going to buy. So what's the point of buying? He's going to give the money back to us anyway. If I buy something, the money's going to go back on my account. So, And what's so sad about Crow, and I'll tell you why what's sad about him, is the fact that if Crow had never sent us that documentation telling us that we could buy whatever we want from him, and we just came on his website and started buying, and he denied us, That would have put him on a better position because he has the right to deny who he doesn't want to sell to. But when you invite someone and then insult them to be a man for the first thing, man, like to buy from you, and then they do buy from you, you cancel right away. That's not good. That's not good at all. That's really not good at all. On top of that, your eBay listing is still missing. I must have typed up everything I could possibly think of, and it's still missing. So the fact that that's the first sign of something that's not going well for you. That means you're getting a lot of flack back from people. There are people, I guarantee you that, like I said, at the end of the day, there are people that are sparking curiosity. Number one, because you won't do the test and we keep requesting it. Number two, to prove me wrong, to shut me up. So they're doing the test themselves. And I'm pretty sure that they're finding out that the product match is very, very close, or very extreme, or close, or very, very close. And at the end of the day, when you just took $80 out of your pocket to pay for an item that ended up matching black and white paint at the end of the day, that is going to trigger you. Now, you're not going to do a YouTube video off of it because that, and if you were a supporter, that's going to make you look bad. So you're going to take that out on him, which means you're going to email him and you're going to discuss it with him. And he's not going to reply back to you because if he's not replying back to us, he's definitely not going to reply back to you. So what do? You're going to go to PayPal, you put in a complaint for your money. Well, guess what, Sparky? You're not getting it back because you know why? On this website, it says no equal exchange. And what would you equal exchange it for? More black and white paint? At the end of the day that you can literally make yourself. So that doesn't solve the problem. See, and his policy on his website is once you open that container, it's yours because by law, you can't get your money back. And the reason why you can't get your money back because you can't return the item in which you used. Unless you can Harry Potter it off your wall and put it onto a can and give it back to the original stage. Other than that, he got you. Can't touch him. Now, that's why we have equal exchange. Because we had a customer who paid $900 and something for paint. All right? They bought the wrong paint. They bought something that would not be utilized on what they needed it for. Now, I could have easily said at the end of the day, well, that's your fault. Because that's why we do so many demonstrations so you know exactly what you're buying. No, I said, no problem. We'll ship you out 3 gallons of the product that you need. And that'll be it. And that's what we did. To make sure my customer, because he had something he was doing that was very important in business, whatever, and to make sure it was working out. It's not, at the end of the day, it's not going to cost me anything extra. If I make this stuff by 5 gallons at a time to ship out a couple of containers. So customer, if they can prove that this is so, we have no problem with that. This person doesn't have it on his website. He has, you don't get your money back. So I don't know how you would even fight that. Go to your credit card institution, not going to work because you're going to be slammed with a fraud charge. That's not going to work either. But you can go there and say you never made the purchase, and they're going to find out you did make the purchase, and they're slammed with a fraud charge on top of that. Keep in mind, with a fraud charge, you can get that's a couple $1,000s for something you just paid about $80 for. That's not even worth your time. At the end of the day, you can't do nothing about it. That's all. That's what it comes down to. This is the reason why they don't match your test. This is the reason why they cancel the orders. Because they know that the item comes down here. You know what it's going to go through. It's going to go through the same thing our products go through. And 10, all the certified screens and fully lit environments and all the different projectors. And so it's not going to be in the comfort zone anymore. That's going to be hard for the screens to be to take. If that was the case and our products work so well, we wouldn't have any cancellations. We would have about all of Crow's products right here in front of you. We would have Partay's products all right here in front of you if it worked, if they had confidence. Just like those certified screens we have downstairs, those companies have confidence that their products work. That's why we have their sample sheets downstairs. But when it comes to these guys, we don't have them. If I go to any one of these eBay merchants and buy one of their screen paints right now, I'll have that right on my. I'll have that in about a week or two, or maybe about whatever time it takes. I'll have that here with no problem. When it comes to them, yeah, good luck. See. So let me see. Let's go over to we're going to go to the site. We're going to the site to do this thing because I go to the site because I don't want to go through. I try to do this. We go to the original link on which we were sent. All right, so these right here are all the cancellations that we received from Crow. All of them. Quite a lot of them in here. It's about 14 altogether. Imagine 14 at the time, 14 times $85 or $80, $89, but 85. As a matter of fact, when you consider it, we paid $4 more than what how are you having a sale on your website You're supposed to be having a sale on your website and your screen paint was at 85. That was the original price. You slashed it to make it $80. You took $5 off. But now we paid $89 for it. Yeah, see, that doesn't even add up either. They're constantly messing up. So as I said before, as to refresh Crow's memory, because it's not to refresh your memory, it's to refresh his memory. This is the email we initially got from Crow. Basically, in this email stating us to buy. Now, why we got the email? Simple and plain. We went through this last year, a couple years ago back, for the Metallica Personal and UV mix. We tried to make some purchases through his eBay website to pick it up. Orders were being canceled left and right. We decided to live stream it so people could keep saying, nope, they weren't canceled. They were canceling. They didn't make the orders, and orders never went through us. Okay, fine. We'll start live streaming. And that's what live stream came in, because Crow lies all the time. So we went in, we placed the orders, and in those conversations, you could see where Crow basically became hostile. He started gouging on the price. At one point, you can see in one of the returns where the price of the paint was at $120 something, $129, higher than the product that he's selling now. Very easy to track down the video. Very simple. It's going to butcher his name right there, but we'll put it down here as in Crow cancels his eBay listing. He literally pulled this entire eBay listing because he got so frustrated in the stream that he decided to just remove the entire eBay listing right there. So there's the video right there. So I do this typing, it comes right up on Google. This is where we went in. This is way back about in 2019 or 2020, where we went in to purchase his product. And you can clearly see where the cancellation in the email, several cancellations we received from like 4 or 5 from him. And each time we received that cancellation, he kept jumping his price. Now right here, his full name. There it is right there. Fernando Gonzalez sent you a refund for $129. That is right through PayPal. This is an order confirmed at the bottom where you placed the order at 5/12, at 5/16. He went in and canceled the order. Now, his price was gouging because keep in mind, his screen paint has never been $129. Ever. That proof showing that he was gouging his price. So he kept jumping the price. And same thing he just did when we just caught him. He did the same thing here. The reason why we won our claim against him, because the last order he put in was for around $275, and he tried to keep the money. You know why he couldn't keep the money? Because we could go into eBay and say, look how he's gouging the price. Now you can change your price, but within every freaking minute of somewhat, he was changing the price, and eBay saw the fluctuation and how he was changing the price that fast, that close to each other, and they could tell clearly he was price gouging. You got to strike against his account for that, for gouging his price in the middle of transactions through eBay. A lot of people don't realize that, but yeah, Crow received a strike. He almost got his account suspended from eBay due to the fact that we could show that within minutes apart, he was basically gouging his price. The price was jumping and jumping and jumping. So you can't do that stuff. That comes suspicious on the other end. You think because you're doing it, nobody can see it. No. eBay also sees that. Your price is constantly jumping. Every time a transaction goes through, the price jumped. Transaction went through, price jumped again. That's why his account was under investigation. Right there, for fraud, because of that, trying to gouge the price. So we went all the way up to $270, and he decided to try to keep our money, and that's when we went in and filed a complaint against him. And when we filed the complaint, eBay looked at it, and we went through eBay to file the complaint. eBay looked at it and saw the price change within minutes of each other, constantly changing. It came as a suspicious account. So they went and basically put his account under investigation, and he basically got penalized for it, for doing that dumb nonsense. And all we were trying to do at the end of the day, we're just trying to buy the product to bring it down here for testing. Because, Crow, you have to understand, or Jamie, whatever you call yourself, you want to get nasty with other people's products. You want to basically belittle their products. But when it comes to somebody to test your products, oh, no. You can't test my products. Only I can test yours. That sounds like the most uneven and backwards nonsense I've ever heard in business in my entire life. That you want to test other people's products out and do what you want to do with them. But when people want to do testing against your products, no one can touch your products. Only people can touch your products are people that you talk to, communicate with, and you can persuade them to do it the way you want it done. It ain't going to happen over here like that. If I decide to bring your mix down here, it's not going to happen like that. You're going to go through all the testing that our screens have to go through. If your product is the best, it should have no problem sitting outside at 4 o'clock in the evening and trying to display a star field while our screen's displaying a white level. You shouldn't have that problem if you claim your product to be equal to ours. And this is the reason why we've had these problems from him. Now, because of this issue we went through trying to get these products from him, I mean, all kinds of stuff he tried in this one stream. Went in and removed the eBay listing right there, canceled orders. Now he put it right here, he says that the seller canceled the order due to the following reason: buyer's shipping address. So he's saying our shipping address was incorrect. Ooh, man, I'm telling you, that's what I said. You got to be careful. Dude, I'm going to tell you something. I'm very, 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 when it comes to tedious, when it comes to documents, backing up things, because I've taken quite a few people to court. Can't walk on the court empty-handed. You got to go in there with everything at your command to be able to prove your point in order to win. That's how you have to walk in there. It's rare that I lose a court case because I constantly do research to make sure. And that's why I said when we walk in the court, it's not going to be good for you. You're going to be buried under so much freaking. You're not even going to be able to lift your head up to look at the judge. It's going to be bad. I'm very, very detailed when it comes to this kind of stuff. And I hire extremely good attorneys to get the job done. And they don't look like fools when we walk into that courtroom right now. So I'm going to show you something. Now, remember what he said in that transaction right there. He said, my address was unshippable. What Crow didn't realize, and what he forgets, is the fact that way back when we first ordered one of his products, the order went through. And it was shipped to our address with a tracking number intact. Same address. So let me show you. Here it is right here. Got to be careful about how you run your mouth too much. See? Right here, Crow. Now, that was the message that he put across. When he canceled the order, he typed in his own message. That was his reason why he couldn't ship it to us. Because we're in a live stream. And he was saying, oh, well, I can't ship it to him because his address is unshippable. Hey, guess what, buddy? You did ship to us. We shipped him. We had a package delivered to our front door. There's a tracking number showing to confirm it was shipped there. Showing delivered. So our address is shippable. He backed out of that and got scared. And that's when he pulled the listing. Pulled the entire listing. So he went in, he pulled this entire eBay listing all together. Because he couldn't deal with it. And ain't the first time I've seen him pull it. Now he pulled one now, it's for good. I haven't seen it back on. I've been going back and checking. I haven't seen it back on, but turn around and pulled it again. Can't act like that, man. At the end of the day, like I said, if you don't have your evidence and you can go into court, let me tell you how court works, Crow. You can't go in there and run your mouth. You got to have documents. You got to have backing it up. It's going to be hearsay. They can throw it right out of court. Anything you say without a document attached to it, proving that it's supposed to be, is considered to be hearsay and be thrown out of court. You're going to have to prove those accusations. If you can't prove that my product comes up so dark you can't see, and you claim my product to be nothing more than black and white paint or black paint, and I paint that screen on with black paint and do that demonstration I did over 15 times, do you know how much money you will lose in that case? The judge will get to the point where, like, you know what, that's it, we're done. We don't need to see nothing else. Are we finished? Everybody finished? Okay. Then judgment get passed right from there from the door. There's nothing you can do about it. Not a thing. Nothing you can do about it. You're done. Once they sign that document, that's done. It's already signed in. That's the end of it. I could go right down to a sheriff's cell right there from the door, and I can demand your stuff. That fast, that quick. That fast, that quick. Because I want a judgment. So there we go. This is the eBay listing. He yanked the entire listing down. Come up sooner or later. When it does, I'll be ready to place an order. As a matter of fact, I got 10 people that I know that live over in Canada. See right there? Pull this whole listing down. We even had somebody in the stream go in and check it for us. I'm like, is it me? Is it my machine? Is my computer error? Is that my error on my end? And the guy can say, no, I just checked it a few minutes ago. His site is not there. It doesn't exist. Yep, to keep us from buying the product. That terrified. So because of going through this experience, what we did was we had hired people to go in and buy the product for us. So we had another fellow, he bought 3 of them from us. Oh, yeah, whatever. Anyway, this guy's in here rambling about something. It's probably, yes, that's Crow right there talking right now. That's Crow coming running his mouth right now. Partay was just in here a few minutes ago. Anyway, after that, we hired people to come and get it because there's no point. It's basically trying to get the product if they're going to be canceling orders left and right. So we had somebody buy the product. We got the item too. That's how we're able to get the Metallica mix. That's how we're able to get the UV mix. That's why we got the products we have here now, because we had people order those for us. Now, after going through that fiasco, we had another fellow who got another the Metallica mix for us. We did unbox for that. We got the Metallica mix over here. Let me show you right here. Make sure we're on the giddy up here. All right, so he got the item for us, shipped it over. He went back in to get the Cinemax from us, and Crow caught him, figured out who he was, canceled his order, and then went in and basically went to his rant. So what put Crow on edge is the fact he couldn't figure out who was placing these orders. Was it customers or was it us? And to be able to cut down on all of that craziness, right? He did this. He sent us an email. This thing is gold. This is absolute gold for us. As a matter of fact, I need to frame this and put this in the shop. I'm going to be framing these and put these on the shop downstairs for display. This is actual gold. I've never seen anybody do anything this idiotic in my life. I mean, really seriously idiotic in business. So he sends this email over to us. And in this email, he tells us that we can buy whatever we want, this, that, and the other. You know, you can buy with confidence. I know you guys have seen this before. But this is the email. This Crow's email's address right there. As you can see, this is the link he sent us to the site to go buy from him. There's a link. Tell me, check out my products. Right there, that's the product we wanted right there to order. And at the bottom, yeah, it's install. Because Crow figured that I wasn't going to buy. Oh, he's not going to come. He's not going to do that. He's not going to. You got the wrong person, buddy. I'm different. I'm not cut from that kind of cloth. I'll go and buy from you. I don't care. And that's what I did. So he sends me this nonsense, this bull crap, insults me, tells me to be a man for the first time in my life, and just order the paint. You told me to order, and that's what I did 14 times. The one we have one in gold. So I was on a site, we were talking about this, and I was showing him the one that's in gold. He said, why it's in gold? He said, because that's the first one that he canceled. The first one that we went in and we went to purchase the paint, the Cinemax, I'm thinking this is fantastic because now I can order it and have it shipped right to the front door. When we do it by customer, customer has to buy it. We send them the money, they buy it, and then they have to ship it to us. It takes time. I can order as much as I want and have it sent to the front door for testing. Fantastic. So I go and I order the Cinemax. That's what I ordered. Guess what? Order canceled. Canceled the order right from the door. Canceled it. It wasn't even in there a hot couple of minutes before the cancel went through. And then he went and canceled another one, and he canceled another one. I'm thinking, like, how many of these would he actually cancel? I went and I bought 2 of them at the same time, he canceled them. I bought 3 at the same time, he canceled them. I bought all 4 of them at the same time, he canceled all 4 of them. We even did a demonstration where I shot a video testing his product, showing it failing on our screen. At the same time, I placed an order. Which is going to end first? The order going to get canceled or the video is going to end? The order canceled before the video. There was another one on camera that was a minute from it. A minute, literally. Shot there. The minute we put the order through, boom, it canceled out that quick. So just to show you right here, these are the cancel orders that we received from Crow. Money back into the account, money back into the account, refund, 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 order received, refund, refund, refund. And then when he noticed that we were streaming this whole entire thing, then he went into a whole full complete Karen mode. Now mind you, this is an individual who sent us an email to basically cut down on the anxieties that he was going through of trying to figure out who was placing the orders. So now, if we're ordering directly, he knows who's buying them, and he can separate us from his customers. But by canceling the order, I don't even know how that even works out for you, because at the end of the day, you do know we're just going to go back to getting somebody to order for us, and that's just going to put you back in the same boat you started from, right? So out of that, after we got that permission from him, after we go on and we buy, he pulls a Karen mode. Now he goes into this whole putting little tiny messages in between each order, like this one. And this one, he goes into harassment. So now we're harassing him because we're buying a product from his site that he gave us a link to go buy. We're banned now from his site because we're banned either way, period, because he was never going to ship it out to begin with. We're banned due to the fact that we bought product from his website. So let me get this straight. I got banned. I am harassing you because I'm giving you money to put into your account. Then he goes back, I don't need the money. No one asked you if you did need the money or not. At the end of the day, I'm buying your product. So what's the problem? How come we can't buy the product? What's the deal? Your product is supposed to be the best of the best. And if it is, then you shouldn't have no problem being able to make sure we get the item. What's the problem? There you go. So those are the little things we got back and forth from him and little harassments. So I make these messages, I make these once in a while. So that way Crow and Partay, who seem to forget where their place is at. One got a website that can't promise and can't deliver, number one. Number two, the shopping carts are locked. Number three, we got a PayPal cancellation, which you couldn't even ship the item out to because you were so afraid the very same screen print you call yourself doing this review against, which is one we ordered, we never got. And Crow has multiple cancellations, a missing eBay account, which is not even there anymore, and a slew of freaking, cancellations from here. So it's harassments. Let me see this one we got. I don't need your money. These are all different messages we got up here from him. On one of these, you had, and we got to dig into that one. I have to dig into that one. You're showing a order of a Frankenstein that's black. That I need to take some time out to look into that because I have never ever seen you with a black Frankenstein. And if that's the case, that means you are posting items on your site without any testing, without any form of truth that these items actually do exist. So what if somebody had walked in and paid that $85 like we did, thinking everyone had a black Frankenstein? How are you going to refill that order if there's no test behind it? Why would you even have anything like that to begin with? So let me tell you what Karens do. And we all know what Karens do. Karens will go in and start trouble. And they'll invite trouble. And then when somebody comes to knock their block off, now they plead the victim. And they plead I'm this, that, and the other. That's what Crow just did. Crow just went here, complains that, let me see, after sending that one, let me see, we got one up here, obsessed, calling me a psychopath, all kinds of stuff. At the end of the day, buddy, here's the thing. If you don't want to mess with the big dogs, don't play with the big dogs. You don't get bit by the big dogs. Stay in your little backyard with your, little, whatever you play with, squirrels, birds, or whatever at the end of the day, and be there. Don't come over here. Because at the end of the day, you'll get roughed up and you'll go home crying back to your mother. Stay in your yard. Don't come over here with us. When I mean with us, I don't know who else would be with us. I can't figure anybody else. But anyway, don't come over here. At all, period. Don't come over here, get your behind kicked, and you want to go home and cry and whine about how, blah, blah this and blah, blah that. You sound like one of them kids that talk all this trash. They're the first ones to go head first off the monkey bars and start crying. Oh, it'd be a little scratch, and they be crying like this, like they got their arms split open. You sound like one of them. Look at this. So don't send invites. Don't do that. Because if you send invites to me, I will come by. Don't do that. Don't think you're going to call my bluff. It will not work out in your favor. It'll make you look really bad. These are posted onto forum sites of warning people not to buy from you. You can go out there and say, well, my product is this, that, and the other. We have actual documentation of your cancellations. What's this one here say? That's the harassment. Here it is, Frankenstein. How do you have a black Frankenstein? Because I've never seen one. I've seen the Fusion Black and the other ones, but I've never seen a black Frankenstein. Frankensteins aren't black. Frankensteins are kind of gray. Actually, a Frankenstein is the exact same color as Partay's gray screen. It's the same color as the Vega, almost the same color. That screen's not black. So how do you have it posted on your site that we just purchased and for $85, a black Frankenstein, but I don't see it? That's fraud, chart. It's a fraud. That's definitely fraud. You can't post things on your website that are not true. You go on my website, there's a video document backing everything, including tests of every product we ever developed. There's a video backing it. I've never seen a black Frankenstein from you. That's something we're going to investigate next week. Keep in mind, because I have this receipt right here, and I did make this purchase at the end of the day, and your customer will be visiting the Better Business Bureau again for a second complaint against you for fraud, because I purchased this item, and I've never seen that. And keep in mind, you can't come up and place a date and go, oh, we just developed this. No, because it's time stamped. You know that, right? So they'll go back and check. I went back and checked, and there is no black Frankenstein. I don't even know where you even got the idea to put that up there. to begin with. So y'all tell me, where is their Black Frankenstein? Because I've never seen one. On top of that, there is the issue now that you may be facing with Universal Studios. You do know that you do not have the right to sell any product under Frankenstein. Now, going back to where you had his picture posted onto your cans, you did not share any of those royalties with Universal Studios. You do know that's an automatic lawsuit. That's automatically from the door, a violation of copyrights, trademarks, right from the door. That is a massive lawsuit going against you. That will be a massive lawsuit once reported. You didn't get permission. That's like me getting Dragon Ball Z or God of War and printing them on the side of my can and calling it war paint, the ultimate home theater war paint. And I got God of War's image on the side of my can. I didn't contact Sony Corporation, whoever develops that particular item, and say, hey, look, I'm going to be using your logo or whatever on the side of my can, and I'm just going to basically take all those proceeds and keep them to myself. It don't work that way. You have to pay them out royalties. You have to contact them and say, hey, look, I want to use this on my can, so and so and so. Can I get permission from you? And they'll say, okay, yeah, permission, but this is what you're going to pay us for each time you sell one of these. We want a percentage of that money. You didn't give them any of that money. How many cans you sold out? You know, it can hit you for $50,000 a can. Worse than that, I've heard even worse. I heard $250,000 a can. It can get nasty. It depends on what they want to go for. They can even request jail time for that. On how many items you might have sold, that's what they're going to request back, what they want back in their pocket. Now, maybe say you only sold 10 of them. Then they're going to make sure they're going to get them. Even at $10,000 a pop, that's still a lot of money you're going to pay back. Yeah, you don't think, man. The first time I saw that, I was like, is he an idiot? How dumb can you be? I mean, you can't be when you look at it, you can't be any dumber than that. You literally put an icon of Frankenstein on the side of your can without asking for permission from these particular individuals. And keep in mind, if you decide that you basically, and I hate to say this, man, you ever want to delete those videos, you can't. We got dub copies on everything you have because we're taking you to court. Yeah, that may come up in court, by the way. I'm not saying it will, it might not. It may come up in court. It may come up. Now, I told you already from the door, if you can learn to keep your mouth shut, Crow, and we got so much evidence on you. If you can learn to keep your mouth shut, shut your mouth, shut it. Learn to shut your mouth. I may drop a lawsuit on you. But I don't think you can. I think you got a bit of a sickness there. I don't think you can. I told you, when we go into court, there'll be no remorse for you or your family at all, period. I'm going to clean your clock. I'm going to wipe your apartment clean. You'll have nothing left in there. You ever seen when the Grinch came in and he robbed Whoville? It's going to look just like that when I get done with you. I'm warning you, man. You might want to just keep your mouth shut. Mind your business, lick your wounds, and go about your business. I am trying to help you out the best way I can. You will not win in court at all, period. You will lose on so many levels. It's not even funny. You violated my freaking copyrights 13 times. Man, my lawyer laughed when he saw it. He laughed so hard, he's like, easiest money he would have ever made. Easiest money. And one of them I can get you on. He did 13 times. What were you thinking? But he don't. We'll see where it goes, people. We'll see where it goes. If he get his clean clock. Because, man, I'm telling you, man, you can look over to me. You can apologize to me. You got the wrong person when I walk into court because I gave you plenty of time. In the back of my mind, we sent down, our lawyer sent down paperwork to the individual or the cease and desist order. I butcher it every time I say it. But we sent that document down to him. And in that document clearly tells him that if you continue down this road and we go to court, that's it. You're sued. That's it. Get yourself a lawyer, whatever you got to do, and get down there because you're going to get sued at the end of the day. We warned him. So we go to court and the judge goes, Mr. Bird, did you basically warn Mr. Fernando or Gonzalez that these events were going to occur? And I guess I did. We had a lawyer send down documents to his house. He got them. We know him. We know you got your documents. PARTAY sent some fake email telling me how y'all got into a fight, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe that drama queen nonsense. You two just play games back and forth. My goodness, we're gonna get married or whatever. You two are weird. But anyway, sent me out some dumb email about, oh, we got into an argument. So what? So I can confide with you and be friends with you, so we can both go get. You, what are you, like 5 years old? What is wrong with you people? Do you have a treehouse where you have special secret words or something to get in, or no girls allowed? Like, really? I'm a grown man. Like, I don't fall for that kind of dumb nonsense. Anyway. So, like I said, at the end of the day, man, you got to get your act together, man, because this is the real world, man. This ain't no YouTube, whatever. When I drag you in the court, I'm a different person, man. You can't lean to me and apologize and say, oh, I'm sorry. No, and there's no remorse for you. I'm going to clean your clock. I'm going to take everything you have. I don't care who it belongs to, your dog, your cat, roaches, whatever. I'm cleaning your clock. You're going to be used as an example to not to mess with me or my company or my associates. I pay my attorneys a lot of money, and I'm going to make sure that we get what we have to get done. And that's why I've been slowly just stacking, compiling information on you down through years. My goodness, this person don't even learn at all. And keep in mind, it's not going to be the end of it, man. These woes are never going to leave you for the right. They're going to be with you for the level. Like, they might even put a strain on your marriage. At the end of the day, I told you, financial ruins will put a strain on a relationship or marriage like there is no other. I'm trying to keep what you 100% real. I'm not. You can laugh and smile and care what you want. Find out you got hit with a $250,000 lawsuit, and your wife, that's going to trigger to her too. Mind you, y'all both married, so one hits one, the other one gets hit. We can garnish both of y'all income taxes at the end of the day. You can forget about your kids going to college, all that, that's going. You can forget about houses, cars, go on. You got a massive lien sitting over top of you with interest that you can't even pay off. You can forget, that's all going. And that's not even the end of it, because once we file that lawsuit and that goes through, then that pops up on the radar from the Copyright and Trademark Commission that there's a lawsuit that went out against you for violating the copyright that we registered through their office. Now they're going to get involved in that nonsense. You know what's going to happen next? They're a little different, because they may request some jail time. They got the 5 or 10 years or something like that in jail or something like that, whatever it is. Yeah, and you're going to be fined from them too. Now that seems like you're a first-time offender, or then again, some people really got messed up on the first-time offender. Because I've read some stories about, like I said, I told you about the guy by the name of a guy who went down. He was in a like some kind of sports goodding event or whatever it was, and he had some shirts that had the swoosh on it, and it said Mikey. It didn't say Nike, it said Mikey. Now, when you have events like this, big companies will send people down to scout to see if there's anybody down there messing with their stuff. And at the end of the day, this guy got served, and they were not nice to him. They cleaned his freaking clock. This guy didn't have 2 nickels to rub together when they got done with him. They cleaned his clock just because he didn't get permission to use the swoosh, which is a trademark. I never gave you permission to use my my logo, use my copyrighted material. You didn't write to me, you didn't ask me, nothing at all. You just used it without my permission. So therefore, it gives me the right to take you to court and clean your clock. I can clean your clock on that alone. I don't even have to use the other thing where basically if you slander my product, I can sue you on that just alone by itself and still clean your clock. Yeah, you don't think. Some people like that, they don't think. Now, I tried to be, and people say, oh, but you're supposed to be a Christian, so and so and so. Well, that's why I tried my hardest to basically try to get this man to understand at the end of the day, he needs to shut his mouth and mind his business. But Crow can't learn. That's what my lawyer sat there and said and laughed. I said, look, I really don't want to sue the guy at the end of the day. I don't want to see his family go through that nonsense at the end of the day. He says, well, if he has no respect for his family, then we might as well just sue him at the end of the day. If you are that idiotic and that stupid that somebody's telling you that you can be sued for what you just did, and you still continue on, you don't have any respect for your family. You don't at the end of the day. Because if someone told me I had one freaking request, mind you, we didn't even do anything to Black Diamond at all, period. We did a side-by-side demonstration. That's all we did. And when I moved my camera to the side, their screen went dark around the edges. That's why I found out about narrow viewing comb effect, because their screen was displaying it on the Black Diamond. I thought it was something wrong with my camera at the end of the day. So I did a couple of those videos, and everything was good. You know, they didn't hit us, they didn't come at us like they were trying to sue us or anything. They came at me and contacted me and wanted to talk a little bit. The lawsuit came into effect, the cease and desist order came into effect when we came into words, because they wanted me to come down to Dallas, Texas with the item. I wanted NDA because I'm not walking into a facility with an item that you feel could have potential But at the end of the day, I have no protection on it. So I need an NDA. I need a non-disclosure agreement. You have a legal department, sign some papers, send it over there, we'll sign it, blah, 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 blah. We're done. And I'll pop down to Dallas, Texas, and we'll have a ball. But they didn't want to give us that. And an argument broke loose, and words were spoken back and forth. And at the end of the day, I admit, when I might have went a little gun-ho by basically trying to get the rest of their products down there to test my technology against. Because I figured if I took on one, I want all of them at the same time. Same gun-ho attitude. But at the end of the day, like I said, everybody else does it. Everybody does side by side. And this, I never call them scammers. I never started products with this, that, and the other. As a matter of fact, I respect the products. I said because if it wasn't for Black Diamond, I would have never gotten dark technology to begin with. So they're the ones actually started my path into dark technology. So it wasn't that at all, period. It was the fact that watching somebody, and I think at the end of the day, truthfully, charge $300 to $400 for a can of paint that was able to overpower a screen that cost $5,000. That's what it came down to, egos. So that's why when I came back, my company was very, very, very small out of a rented room. Now, wiser, smarter. I got attorneys at my back, you know what I mean? They want to go to court, no problem. Let's do this. I got no problem with that. I'm not the little guy you can bully anymore. It's not going to happen. That's why I developed the Phantom. Final was developed to go against their technology. So as for that Vega nonsense, yeah, whatever. You can't even deliver your own paint, let alone try to say you can beat my product. That product was developed to take on a Black Diamond. So yeah, whatever. Anyway, so that's what it was for. The two that we already put out an order for several select screens that we wanted. The products never came. So I know that Screen Innovation watches my channel. I know. All right, so let's get back to this real quick because we got to get through this. But I got to get the day I'm not going to be painting the screen. I should have did it yesterday. So this is what happens when you put stuff off, man. I should have painted the screen yesterday. It took me a couple minutes to blast the screen. It's raining outside. Hopefully today we get some weather. We can blast the screen. I want to play on that big giant screen right now, and I can't. I got anything in the house big enough to hold that thing? I don't know. But I'll figure it out. I'm playing off that screen today. That rail system. I want to test it out. All right, so here we are. We got the cancellations. Now, in this one, Crow is telling us to stay away from him. I don't need your business. Have a blessed day. Stay away. Thanks. Yeah, he's telling us to stay away from him. Stay away, please. Just stay away from him. Then you should have never made the request for us to buy from you at the beginning of the day. All right. Let's go over to the website. I don't know what's going on with Partay's site. Partay's site's going to be closed forever. I mean, it's going to be closed forever. It's going to be, I told you, I said, look, don't hold your breath. It's not going to open up. It's not going to open up. He's not going to open up that product up at the end of the day. Look, man, at the end of the day, Partay, we don't even have to, I don't even have to buy your product and take it out. I can do a paint on demonstration and blow your product clean out of the water. Your stuff is so questionable, it's not even funny. And you can sit there and go, I'm going to get a lawyer to take it to court. Man, shut up with that nonsense. Shut it up. You're not taking nobody to court for nothing. That's what you're going to do. No lawyer is going to take your case. It's called freedom of speech. I can say whatever I want to say, as long as it's truthfully and I'm backing it up. Your product, you just sat there and said on camera, even made your own mistakes by saying that you needed a 2-inch width of paint, and it actually physically said 3 right there on the screen. You said you had to stir it up between each time, light stir between each time before pouring the paint. You missed 2 of those in the demonstration. Only did 1. The other one you kind of did a rush where you spread the scrim, so we didn't need to see it at all, period. So who's to say? You sat there and you made a comment about where if you add on a 5th of application, then basically it brightens the screen. You have no test demonstrations proving that theory, so therefore you can't back it up. That's hearsay, buddy. You can't back it up. You're saying that the paint optimizes itself by one coating after the next, but yet there's no demonstration showing that, okay, if I miss 1 and 2 and I put down 1, 2, 3, and 4, is there going to be a difference between me missing 2 coats that have to optimize compared to the one that has a full? You haven't done it yet either. So what happens if I put 1, 2, and I put 1, 2, 3, 4, or if I put in 2 and 4 and I put the other? What happens? You didn't put that in there. How does it change? If you're building, this is a building process. And the building process has to have a structure. Much like a house, you have to have a foundation and structure. And you build these houses as you go along, tire. What happens if you take out something out of the equation? What happens? Now, we know what happens to a building. If you take out the main foundation for the building, it's going to collapse eventually. There's precaution. There's going to be something that's going to go wrong with that particular building system. So if that's a building system, if you're building a system, what happens if I basically remove 2 of the applications? Is there going to be a difference between the product? Is there going to be change? I'm guessing no. And you know why I'm guessing no? Because in the video, your screen splashed over to your wall in your theater room and it matched perfectly. And the wall did not require the same instructions and same obedience as you have in the screen paint product. So at the end of the day, no, you don't have to do any of that. Period. The fact that a customer is going to have to sit there and go through, I bought a pack of rollers. In my rollers, I got 5 rollers. If I painted your screen, I'm killing 4 of those. And at the end of the day, either I'm going to throw out the rollers and waste my money, or that's Crow. Or I'm going to go on. Crow, I have some questions to ask you in a few minutes. I'm going to send you something in a few minutes. I hope you're on. Get online right now because I'm going to talk to you directly. I'm going to talk to you directly. So don't worry about that. We're talking to you real soon. You're still going to wash your rollers out. You're going to waste your money. You're going to throw out the rollers. You're going to wash them out. At the end of the day, you're still going to wash out 4 rollers at the end of the day. It's going to, you got a paint cannon, you're going to wash it out because this paint does not require you to do cross-contamination because it'll mess the paint up. So that's another problem. The setting time, like I said, the screen has to set an additional 2 to 3 in order for the screen to settle. So you're talking about on what size, how big, if it changes the size of the screen, there's the time for settling change also too. So if I'm doing 150 inch, there's a settlement time a little slower, longer there compared to a screen that's going to be at 100 inches or 150 inches. You didn't put that there. What is the drying time between each screen for each application? You never stated that at all, period. Is it 30 minutes? Is it 20 minutes? How long with the fan? How long without a fan? That's not put in there at all, period. You don't have that in there at all. There's a whole lot of stuff missing from your applications. As for instance, let me show you, instead of talking it, let's show you what we're talking about here. Now, these are the applications right here. These are the instructions. The instructions, I swear, I would have a better time finding uranium or basically gold by accident or titanium or some rare freaking exotic metal than understanding your instructions. The problem you have here is you made them too complicated. The average customer is not going to understand this at all, period. It's going to have so many problems with this. Not only that, some people, if they make one slight little mistake, they figure they messed the whole thing up and they go into a freaking panic over that. You even have instructions on stirring the product. You know, my instructions are shake it on the screen, you're done. That's it. That's it. Now, bear with me, people. We'll read through this together. And PARTAY, if you don't like this, mind you, what are you going to get upset about? These are your instructions. You wrote them at the end of the day. Your instructions are so complicated, you miss multiple of your instructions as you were telling your wife how to do the screen. Even you were messing up. So if you're going to mess up and you're the person who made the instructions, imagine the person who's trying to follow this who didn't. See? Now here we have to stir the formula very, very well, including the side and bottom. 5 to 10 minutes. Stir time. Stirring time will serve you well. Now, there's another one that says lightly stir again before each coat. You missed this twice in your demonstration. But in the 3rd time around, you did instruct her to mix it. You mixed that one time. So what happens? As you can see, nothing happens at all. He put it in there. It had to be done. But as you can see, if he missed 2 of them in the instruction and nothing happened at all, and he continued the video like nothing was going on, this is something you don't need to do. Just stir it, and the shake, be done whatever you got to do with it. But this crap is not necessary because it didn't affect the screen in any way whatsoever. And if it did, he would explain, well, the reason why the image is doing so and so because I forgot to stir it 2 times to just make sure you don't make that mistake. You didn't add that in there, did you? No, you didn't. You forgot that one because it was too complicated. Now, preparing. All right, ensure your surface is laying flat. Now, okay, now what you explain in your video demonstration that the surface must lay flat. Of course, if you're taking a piece of your paint and you're pouring it out, you can't lay that while the wall, because that's not going to work. It's going to run right down the side of the wall. So what happens if the person's using a stationary screen? It's a screen you cannot move because it's huge, a massive screen. Like say you got 180 inch. You're not lifting that thing off the wall and sticking it on the ground. That was professionally installed. That thing needs to be painted right up against the wall. Like the customer we did overseas, the screen was over 1,000 inches. There's no way in the world of lifting that thing up and laying it on the floor. That thing has to be coated right where it's at. So what happens there? Now, and in his demonstration, he mentioned the paint pan. That's the last I heard of the paint pan. You know why? He paused a little bit when he said paint pan, because he realized that if you could paint it with the paint pan, then you would not have to need that whole instruction video of putting the line in the middle of the screen about 3 inches wide in order to paint the screen if you could do it with a paint pan. I doubt you're going to basically pour it in your paint pan and do the same thing and then put it on the screen. That'd be completely idiotic right from the door. So it has to be on a flat surface. So flat surface, if on a frame, remove the surface. Bad idea. We're going to mess the screen up and show you why you don't do that. I'm going to jack the screen and literally show you what happens when you do that. You don't want to remove it. Mind you, that surface right there is a PVC surface. It's stretchable, very, very stretchable. It's made to expand. Actually, it's made a little bit smaller than the screen so it can expand nice and tight to the screen. When you pull that out, it's not going to be the same size. It's really not going to be the same size at all when you pull it out. You want to keep it while the screen is actually painted while the screen is in there, because you got the screen expanded out to the maximum. That way you won't have any lines or any wrinkles. So, not everybody's going to paint the screen the same way. Some people may mess up. They could paint the screen and then basically it could overlap just a little bit, and you could roll over that thing and you're painting the screen and you're going to stretch it out. You got this white line coming down the side of your screen where the paint didn't make contact with the screen properly. You got to still paint the screen inside the frame anyway. You're going to take it out and redo it again and put it back in the frame? No. And there's a white edge around your frame, your material. Your material will have a white sleeve going all the way around it and these little holes at the top. That's why you slide your tension rails through. Now, you don't want to paint that because that's what you got to grab onto to pull. Your fingers are going to be all up under the screen. You're going to be marking up the paint and everything. It's going to be a mess, trust me. And the reason why I know this, well, Mr. Bird, how do you know this? There's at one point we used to sell fixed frame screens. We used to take the screen out, the material, paint it, and then have the customer put it back into the frame. Not a good idea. It didn't go well. Ended up costing me, Mr. Bird, about $2,000 because I had to replace some of that stuff. So I learned a valuable lesson. Paint that joker while it's in the frame. Did he tell you about the middle bar? Did he tell you about that one, about the middle bar in the middle screen where you have to pad that? If you don't pad the bar in the middle of your screen, what happens is when you press down your roller, it causes an imprint, which means it doesn't show up so much in color, but white levels. You'll see this bar sticking you right in the face. We're going to mess the screen up to show you that one too. Delivery paid the screen without hitting the without padding the bar. You enjoy that freaking nightmare for a while. I did it on a 200-inch screen with 4 bars in the middle screen. You think about that one. I had to move all the furniture for that one. All right. So, ensure, ensure the screen surface is laying flat on a flat surface. If on a frame, remove your surface. Ensure it is laying flat. Visualize your screen in 3 sections: left, middle, right. For an example, see the graphic at the bottom of the page. You have to literally see a graphic at the bottom of the page to visualize where you're going to start to begin to paint your screen. That right there is going to tick somebody off. Now, if I saw it right there, I'd be like, nope, I ain't doing it. No, I'm not doing it. I don't have the patience. But trust me, it gets a little more interesting than that. Okay, the pour application. Application 3. We already just one is painting, the stirring the paint. 2 is preparation. 3 is application. 3 is application. Pour approximately 3-inch line of formula from the middle of the first section to the middle of the last section. See pour line graphic below. Yeah, I'm not saying anything on that one. All right, let's get to the tongue twister. Every time I do this, I feel like I'm about to do Peter Pecker picked the pepper. Peter Pecker picked. Well, I don't have to do that. I could never do those tongue twisters. Carefully move the formula around the screen to ensure the screen is fully covered. With the formula, I said carefully, so as not to slosh it off your screen. Note, fully covered does not mean that the coat will look even. To the contrary, it will not. Okay, we haven't even started yet painting the screen yet. We're still in here. All right, now let's start from here. Follow with me, people, on this one. Starting on either side of the screen, apply a small amount of pressure. Roller, okay, I gotta do this, man. This is gonna be a bit of a, I hate doing this one. Starting on either side of your screen, apply a small amount of pressure, rolling bottom to top of the screen in one full line. Moving to the next line beside where your previous row ended, repeat across the screen. Follow me on that one? Anyone got lost in that one? Anyone required GPS instructions? Okay, moving on. Let's see. Repeat step 1 and 2. Wait, no, I forgot. We missed one. Okay, we're across the screen. Okay, starting on either side. Now we're going back. Starting on either side of your screen, allow only the weight of the roller, no pressure, to repeat step 2. All right, repeating step 1 through 3 at least 4 times. You got to repeat those steps the same way you just told you to repeat them at least 1 to 3 at least 4 times. So you said 1 to 3 at least 4 times. Which one is it? Is it 1 to 4 or 1 to 3? Because if I'm painting the screen, I'm thinking, okay. And if I'm doing 1, is it 1 to 3? Is that okay? But at least 4 times, it's confusing. Once you just say 1 to 4, it makes it so much easier. Because then you're going to have them guessing, like, do I do 3 or do I do 4? Someone's going to be giving you a phone call on that one. I mean, there are. If desired, fifth coat, simply repeat the steps. So you said if desired, you can put a fifth coat on it. Why would you need a fifth coat on it if you just did 4? Now, in your video near the end, you explained that the reason why the fifth coat was needed was basically to enhance the gain capability of the screen to make the screen work in a much well-lit environment. I would love to test that one out as soon as your shopping cart becomes open. All right. Let's see. Behind the bottom, drying time. Let's see. Feel free to use a fan to assist in drying time, but allow each coat to sit for 2 to 3 minutes. Now, you say 2 to 3 minutes each coat, right? Depending again on the size of the screen. We got 135-inch here, and we have I forgot, I didn't measure this screen. I think it's 80-inch at 4.3. This one's going to take longer to dry than this one. This is a much bigger screen. So what is the setting time on a screen for a screen of 150 inches? This is where you need. Now, the way you have your product set up, and this is where it gets really confusing with your product. We start breaking it down. We're going to get into breaking down the ounces of it all. All right. Your screen size, you don't think you do 100. You don't have in your site for a gallon. So you don't have like 150, 180, 230. You have it at 100 to 120 inches. Now, that would be okay if you were doing 32 ounces. But let me see. What do we got here? This is the which one. All right, we have to break that down for something else. That's another breakdown, completely breakdown. Because as soon as you start getting ounces and calculations and all that stuff like that, it's a whole nother section right there by itself. All right, let's get to this right here. All right, so we went over, we're in that instruction area. We went over the setting time. So again, how is setting time going to, because the setting time for this one, if I did the setting time for an 80-inch, it's not going to be the same for the setting time of 150-inch. Because it's going to take more, it's going to be more paint to dry. It's going to be more paint to dry. So the setting time would be a little different than that. But this is the part that gets me right here. Okay, now after he says right here, below setting time for 2 to 3 minutes before applying the fan. Remember, allow each coat to dry to the touch before applying the next. That's where there's a problem too. How is the screen optimizing one after the next if they're not merging with each other? If one is dry to the touch, how does it merge to the other one to activate the other one? How does that work? Now, I can see if you were coating it on with a paint sprayer, and you let it dry just a little bit, but you would need the drying time just right in there. Not so much that they would blend together and smear and basically would cause a problem, but the drying time would be just enough to when the paint hit it, they would basically marry together. Both of them would be wet and they could marry together. That'd be perfect. But you don't have it that. You said dry to the touch. So that's the equivalence of my red wall. So if I go over to my red wall and say the wall is white when it first starts off, and I say, look, Mr. Bird, you want to paint this wall correctly, and you want the best reds you can possibly get off the surface, you're going to have to paint it 3 different colors, and their colors are going to be dry to the touch. How would those red, blue, and green affect the outcome of the screen being red? See what I mean? It's still going to be red regardless, unless if I let them, if I let the paint basically be a little bit wet, and then I painted another one into it, they may marry, they may change colors, or something may happen. They may have a different reaction to it. These are 2 formulas that are marrying into each other. But if they're dry to the touch, how is that going to affect one to another? That's going to be a problem right there. That's questionable. Also, too, by you saying that if you add another coat to the paint would give it a brighter gain, that's bullcrap at the end of the day. See that red wall? Now, at the end of the day, if my wall's red and I paint it again, another coat, so I paint it 4 times, right? And then I painted a 5th coat red, it's still going to be red. It's not going to make it redder. It's going to be the same red it was that it came out of the can. Unless I buy another can of paint that's actually redder than what I just used, and that would make it redder. You got what I'm talking about here? I'll show you that in the video right there. So this is what he's mad about, because you didn't break this down properly. You didn't. You wrote stuff down here. I know why you wrote this. You wrote this because you and Jamie's stuff matches. It does. I guarantee it matches. It does. You put in these detailed, complicated instructions to give your product a different identity from his product. Oh, his product has to be applied this way. My product has to be applied that way. You know, you two need to get together in one of your Q&As or get together and meet up one day. Pop over to Jersey. Jamie, pop over to Jersey and go see PARTAY. We know where he does that. Yeah, you were dumb enough to call my phone that day. That was a stupid thing to do. But anyway, calls my phone with something. He called my phone with some dumb nonsense, calling me a blank hole and whatever, cursing me out, whatever. At the end of the day, PARTAY, that does not bother me or upset me. It just tells you that I'm able to get under your feathers. So the whole entire time I was talking, I said, look, man, I got to get back to work. I got things to do, and all you can do is rant and carry on. I asked you when your shopping carts were going to open up so I can buy some paint from you, and you just went to rant, so I just hung the phone up on him. I had time for it. Now let's get to the interesting part here. This is the part that destroyed your screen paint. Literally wrecked it. This application right here. Time. Now, it says, and paint dries faster than your product. Literally it does. You said, you have heard and said that PARTAY's coating is not a paint. Paint generally cures rather quickly. Our coating will continue to cure over about a period of 5 to 7 days. Your screen will begin to settle into its final appearance within the first 2 to 3 days. Because of this, it is recommended that you not wipe or clean the screen surface until the first week. Now you see that? See the headache behind that one alone? First things first, how are you saying that paint? I don't get that part where you say where paint generally cures rather quickly. It does cure rather quickly because keep in mind, I mean, I used to be a painter. They can put a solution in paint called a quickener. And the quickener causes the paint to dry extremely fast. Some paints that you use will dry faster than others, depending on what they have in them. Some have stain blockers in them. You can kiss them right on the wall and wipe it right off. There's all kinds of cool stuff they can put in paint now. So I don't know where in the world I never heard of somebody painting an apartment and say, oh, you guys can't move in. You got to wait 5 to 7 days so the paint can finally dry. That'd be impossible. It'd take somebody forever to paint a house with that nonsense. So the fact that it takes 5 to 7 days for your product to paint, and you're saying that paint dries rather quickly. So again, paint dries rather quickly, but your product takes so and so and so. I don't get that. That's confusing as I don't know what. Are you saying that your drying time is faster than paint, or is paint faster than you? Are you giving paint credit that is better than your drying time? I don't even know how to begin with that one right there. But 5 to 7 business days. Now he said, no, I'm sorry, you say 5 to 7 business days because of work. But 5 to 7 days. Now keep in mind, you go out and buy your projector, get all freaking random. You pick up my projector, you got it set up, it's coming in the door, you're ready to set it up, get your screen set up, and you got to wait 5 to 7 days for your screen to dry to use your projector. Meanwhile, you will resort to your cell phone or basically whatever TV you have in your house. Or if you sold your TV to do the projector thing, then at the end of the day, yeah, you're going to resort back to your cell phone. So you're waiting 5 to 7 days for your screen to dry while you use the cell phone. Good gracious, that right there alone. You know how many screens? I could build a screen faster than that. I did. We built the acoustics downstairs. I can literally build several screens. If your product got here, if it did get here, and I wanted to demonstrate what you're going to do, I was going to have a friend of mine paint your screen in. We're going to buy, actually, good thing you did lock your shopping cart because I was going to buy 4 of them from you. I was going to get 4 from out of that shopping cart. We'll do other demonstrations with it. But I was going to have him paint the screen, and I was going to buy myself 7 motorized projection screens. Paint all of those in with a different form of screen paint. Have them dry, watch a movie off them, and roll them back up and put them in the corner by the time it takes for your product to actually make it to the 7-day process. That right there destroyed your product. This complicated mess right here destroyed your product. Now I'm going to show you something right here. We're not going to watch the whole application because I can't do it. I fell asleep in the last video. It was no disrespect. I literally just fell asleep. All right, so I'm going to show you just in these certain key points right here. Now, if this bothers you, then you should have never put the demonstration out.
You're used to hearing the.
And I'm going to show you something right here.
Roll it, right? So the formula is. Now you just want to go. So the easiest thing to do is Kelly right now, I've instructed her, she's going to run about a 2-inch wide.
Look what it says on the instructions. What does it say? Does it say 3 or does it say 2? Look at it carefully.
What you plan to do in one coating. And I'll explain that as we go, okay? So the easiest thing to do is Kelly right now, I've instructed her, she's going to run about a 2-inch wide.
You're complicated. Your instructions are so complicated, you don't even know them. It says 3 right there. You said 2 in the demonstration. Now, people are going to make mistakes. Yeah, it's going to happen. But you made multiple ones in here. Multiple ones. You're supposed, I know them. I know your instructions by heart. I do. You're supposed to stir your product for each time you apply it to that surface. Now, mind you, the everyday Joe person is not going to know how to pour 3 inches wide of paint. They're not. It's not going to happen. Some people may pour 2, some people may pour 4. It's rare someone's going to get 3. Some of you may start off good and start off wide coming out on the other end. Is that going to affect the screen? What is going to be the outcome of doing that? That's what you have to have. For all the instructions that you have in there, you have to have what the outcome is going to be. Now, we show people the outcome of our products. We painted that stuff on poly and soaked it in water, pulled it up, and it pulled right off the poly. I said, this is why you don't put it on poly. We painted screen with bars in the middle of it. See that bar, the line coming down the screen? That's because the screen wasn't padded. That's why we have a bar there. We show people the consequences. If you use their product in a certain way, this is what's going to happen to it. You haven't explained anything at all, period. What kind of material can you paint it to? That's another thing too, because it doesn't marry to every material. So does it work on glass? Does it work on plexiglass, on wood, or styrofoam, or all that stuff? Does it work on any of that stuff? Have you done these tests? Have you done these video demonstrations on different surfaces of what your product can be applied to? I have painted my product on just about everything I can freaking get my hands on. I literally have a video on YouTube of me painting a blanket. Yes, people, I painted a blanket, a wool blanket. You name it, I wrote over it.
Strip from the center of the first one to the center of the third one.
Paint wasn't stirred. And his instructions, he requested for the paint to be stirred for each application lightly. It wasn't stirred. Now, why would a paint have to be stirred for each application? Unless there is an issue with separations, which means there's something in the paint that causes it to separate, therefore it to be constantly stirred all the time for each application. That's what we need to find out when we get it down here. That's why I can't wait to get my hands on it, because I can't wait to break this down. You know, I'm a person, I'm kind of strict when it comes to rules. I'm going to break down its instructions on this product. Because the average person painting this, it's not going to answer these questions. We're going to answer some questions, but not the ones I want to find out.
There you go. Just keep going. There you go. Nice, nice.
Now you see right here, when she started off, not her fault. Like I said, first time painting it. But if you notice, that's not 2. That's probably about 2. I don't know what this is, but you're not going to get 3 inches all the way across. It's not going to happen. Some people are going to start off a little nervous. It may be a little thinner, and it may widen as it goes along. But you know, so what happens if a person's painted that, and you'd be surprised? You got to get in the mind of the customer. You're going to think, oh shoot, I messed the screen up. He's going to think he really messed it up. He didn't do anything to it. All this just to slouch it around the screen. So you're not painting the screen, you're just pushing the paint around. So why would you need a line like that to paint? We just pour it down and be done with it, because you're just moving it about the screen anyway. What you'll see right now.
It's nice, okay. Now you can actually take your brush and brush that up aside if that happens. Where you have a little roll in the container. There you go. Nice. Now you just want to go ahead and get to rolling. And what you want to do, the goal here is to cover the surface. You're not trying to get a pretty roll, like you're rolling a wall in your house or something. You just want to, first of all, what you want to do is try to get your roller saturated with the material. Rolling it back.
If that's the case, you don't need to put the line in the middle of the screen if you're not painting the screen. Just pour some paint in and just smear it around the screen. You're not exactly painting the screen, you're saturating the screen, which at the end of the day, again, is a huge why. Because when I paint my screen, I'm painting the screen. I'm not moving paint around, I'm painting the screen. I'm done. See how fast it takes me to paint a screen? No time at all. I do my corners, put it on the wall, we drive, we watch a movie, we're done. You'll see me, when we get the stuff here, for the new screen paints here, you'll see me do that over and over again and again and again. And I don't know how in the world we're not painting the screen by now. Now, mind you, look at the size screen he's doing. Think about that at 120 inches. My screen downstairs is 126, while one of them was 127. Those are big screens. Just imagine that. So instead of that little short distance you're going to be doing, you're going to go, you're going to go up there. You're going to get your workout in. You definitely get your workout in.
Back and forth, you want to saturate your roller with the material.
Like this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Y'all, I have not done this. So.
Now, this is what bothers me. Now, you see how the paint is basically showing like it's not attaching itself to the surface. It's just being moved around. There is something in that. There is something. This is why we need to get it down here for tests. There is something in it. I need to put that between my fingers and rub my fingers to see if my fingers slide back and forth. Because when my fingers slide back and forth, there's oil in that paint. There's no way in the world anything would react that way. It's paint. If you take paint and you paint it down, it's not going to have that reaction. It's going to paint right to the surface. That's what's going to happen. It could be bare silver screen, white paint, green paint, blue paint. It is not going to look like that. Can you imagine you painting the wall with paint and it did that to you? You're like, what the freak is wrong with this stuff? Even oil-based doesn't react that way. There's something in there that's not supposed to be in there. If not, it would have taken to the surface.
Now you want to start rolling it, like rolling that out, because what you see is you've got little pieces. There you go. You're just trying to get coverage, a good, even coverage. It's not going to look even as far as color.
Why in the world would I even go through all this? Now this we have to put a light coat over top of it. You have to go with the roller nice and light.
All right, see, now you can start applying just a little bit of pressure, going either side to side or up and down. Just apply a little bit more pressure. Be easy when you want to roll your roller. There you go. Really nice image. So that's it. It was just coat the surface, do your light roll all the way across, and then now we're going to let it set for maybe 2 to 3 minutes, just because this starts to try to level set itself. Now, what I do is usually that's the reason I use...
Try to level set itself. So does it level set or doesn't? It tries. You said in the instructions as it needs a 2 to 3 to level set. It needs a level set. You're saying try. So does it or does it not? Does it work or does it not work? Try does not work when it comes to instructions. All right, let's go to pour out. We'll go back a little bit. So
you don't waste a lot of material, but you start with a fresh roller for this coat.
Clean your roller with warm water between your remaining coats. I showed you what you got to go through to clean out a roller. It's not fun. It's basically you're going to have to clean all the paint out of it. Once you get all the paint out of it, you're going to get all the water out of it. If you put any soap in it, that's got to come out of it too. If not, that would transfer over to your screen and mess your screen up pretty bad. So you want to make sure all that's cleaned up. Or especially when you're cleaning a roller, you want to make sure that the inside of the roller, right around here where the top part is, make sure that is especially clean. On top of that, your roller that you're using, on the roller that you're using to slide in, you have to make sure that's clean, because sometimes paint can get caught right around in that little corner there. You got to slap that roller on your roll. You got these lines going all up and through your screen, like what the freak is going on? I clean out the roller. You have to clean out the roller too. Everything has to be clean. Everything has to be washed and scrubbed down. It's called, you're not going to trigger off cross contamination. So he did not explain that to you. That will happen.
So this time we're going to do the exact same thing we did last time. And while Kelly's rolling it, I'll talk a little about the product itself and what it's designed and engineered.
Now I want you to check this out. First time, they didn't stir it lightly. Here comes the second time.
Engineered to do for you.
See? So she switches the spoon so she can get a better grip on it.
So just get used to it.
So that means 2 applications, the screen was not basically stirred up first. If it wasn't stirred up first and there was no reaction at all whatsoever, it's not a requirement that it's needed. You can just shake it up and put it on the screen and be done with it. As for that smeared it around the screen, what's the point of putting a line in the middle of the screen if you're just going to cover the surface to begin with? It doesn't make a difference if you streak it or not. You're just covering the surface, just saturate it. Just pour it down on the screen and be done with it. And this is the same surface that was outside, by the way, when it's done on the demonstration. Also, to PARTAY, you got to do your demonstration outside again. That is a complete, utter fail due to the fact that if your projector was sitting back at 12 feet on this little small sample sheet, shows that your zoom was pushed all the way down to the smallest setting. Then you pulled it back at 12 feet. That's what you did. You know, when you take an image like that and you compress it like that, you push it all the way down, the pixels will push tighter together. And if they push tight together, it gives you a sharper, brighter image. But this is not a screen that you use for an outside display. Now, having it at 12 feet back, if you had it at 12 feet back and you had it at the normal zoom, that means that thing would have overlapped easily, probably about the size of about 100 inch at 12 feet away. But the fact that you got a screen that small at 12 feet away at less than 100 inches means you had your zoom pushed down to give you a much more sharper and brighter image while you were outside. That's what you did. You know why I figured that out? Because number one, like I said, if I took that model number of that projector and I punched it in at projectorcentral.com and I pulled back 12 feet, I would have had something bigger than the size of that screen right there. The only way you would actually have a screen size, maybe that small, unless you were using something called an extended zoom lens. They're used for actual movie theater setups. I have one in the next room. Now that projector right there, if I got a Sony VPO FH36, follow with me, FH36 with a standard lens, I could get a 100-inch at 12 feet away. But with a zoom extended lens, I would have to be back 18 feet to get 100 inches because that lens is designed to shoot this narrow, long image right across your theater room without expanding over your walls and your ceilings and the back of your chairs and just hit the screen only. They're designed for movie theater setups, but you don't know anything about that. Like I said, half the people that come here and talk about screen paintings don't even know projectors. They really don't. You have to know everything. I know everything from 35mm projectors, old reel-to-reels, and you bring it all the way up to CRTs. Yeah, I got a chance to experience all that. I'm a tech junkie. But you guys come in here, you don't even know what the frick y'all talking about. But yeah, there's no way in the world his screen size was that small. Now, when he did the demonstration again, inside it had a 100-inch screen. The measuring tape was at around 12 feet, which would have gave him the 100-inch at that size. Good gracious, people. Now, mind you, that's twice. Twice, they didn't stare it, and he said 2 instead of 3. He doesn't remember his own instructions. I'm not going to watch this whole thing. Y'all want to watch this? Y'all can come in here and watch this. But I watched this thing 4 times in a freaking row. I watched it. This is the final product right here. Now, you see the color of that screen right there? This is the Vega, the one he has. It's when he's painting. You see the color of that Partay? The color of that paint? Do you know what color a Phantom is? A Phantom is jet black. A Phantom would overpower the screen easy. So what you're saying to me is, and so what you're telling me, if you beat a Phantom, that means you would have no problem doing the over 18 screen certification demonstration and beating all those screens. Because the Phantom, that's what it did. It beat every last one of those screens. So unless you're lying or you're faking a demonstration, and what I need you to do now is now you're going to have to collect every single sample sheet that Phantom beat, and you're going to have to beat every last one of them on live. You made the statement. You're going to have to back it up now. Because we can do it with no problem. I can do it on any one of the screens we have around here. So if you claim that you beat that Phantom, then you should have no problem beating the 18 certifieds. I will email you the list of screens that we got in companies that they're attached to, and I hope that's your video demonstration done. And probably I'll give you next month because it's going to take a while for you to get a sample sheet. So we're going to look forward to that. I will be requesting this from you. Be careful about next time you do dumb stuff. Like I said, it'll come back to bite you in the face, and eventually this one will come to bite you in the face. So you better hope you were lying about it, because if not, now you're going to have to back up your product beating all 10 of those with no problem. Well, actually it's over 10, 18 long throws and 5 certified ultra short throws. And mind you, when you do those tests, it's not going to be pretty pictures. It's going to be color patterns, blue, reds, greens, yellows, all in fully lit environments, contrast levels. Oh yeah, I said contrast levels. And I know that's not going to pull a proper contrast, but you're going to have to be to do it. Well, good luck. All right, so you can see right here from the door. Oh yeah, we give him the guarantee. If he doesn't do the challenge, then at the end of the day, like I said, you know what it is. All right, so this is the finished product right here. Took 14 or 15 minutes to do this. Now this is what he goes in and talks about how the product is supposed to be this optimizing system that builds itself.
Hey folks, Danny here at Partay. So want to cover off, now this is a panel that I'm going to show you. Things where that this, as far as application surfaces or substrates as we refer to them. So your substrate, regardless of whatever it is, okay, and we'll cover different types of stuff, substrates as we refer to them. You remember when using Partay coatings, as far as applications.
Now, you know how you're in there talking all this stuff about your Partay coatings and this, that, and the other? Did you notice that your theater wall in the room that you have looks exactly like your screen? And it does. That's the first thing I picked up on when I saw your first demonstration. I looked at the theater wall and said, gee whiz, they look exactly alike. I wonder if they look exactly, if you put them next to each other, how close will they come to looking next to each other? I'm curious on how close your products will come together with gray sheets. I bet you $100 Crow hasn't done that demonstration with gray bed sheets, has he? Don't worry, we ordered the bed sheets already. They're in the way. They're coming in the way. And we also are going to be placing the order for Cinemax because I got to see this one right here. I definitely got to. We got to do it. I'm sorry. We got to do it. I mean, it got to be done. And he's not doing the demonstration. He's not doing the test. So we're going to have to do it on our own end. I'll squeeze time in the schedule to get it done. But anyway, yeah, your product. What is the difference in your product and a gray bed sheet? A gray primer? Or even, I would like to see you do the Frankenstein mix side by side. Or that wall. Look, you got a wall right there. Just take your screen and put it right there. That's all you, move this and put your screen right there. Because I want to see it on the full scale. You can already see it's matching. So he goes into this optimization and color strand and whatever. And if you look at this, they look exactly alike. But let's listen to what he's saying about how the product is supposed to do all this stuff.
Surfaces or substrates as we refer to them. So your substrate, regardless of whatever it is, okay, and we'll cover different types of stuff, general categories anyway, but regardless of whatever it is, you're going to want to paint it on a flat surface. In other words, you're going to want to make sure that it lays on a very rigid, flat surface, not something that's got a lot of give or bounce to it. So when you roll this, because there's one step in it where you're just going to put a little bit of pressure, right? And if you have, say, a screen that you made that's a pine frame or something along that line, and you put material on it, you painted that material, when you lay it flat.
Partay, let me update you on how things work in the real world. People have been doing pine and plot screens from day one, since first when they learned that you could build your screen yourself. And I've never heard anybody in any of those demonstrations say, oh, this is a bad idea. You don't want to do it this way because so-and-so will happen. You're the only individual who came up with this theory. So you mean to tell me out of all the thousands and thousands of people, you can go on YouTube and watch people build frames all day long and paint them, never had this problem, and all of a sudden when it comes to you, it's a problem. It's to you because your product has the problem. Just like the P2, there's nothing wrong with the P2. It's an amazing projector. It just don't work on Crow's screen paint, that's all. You look at them displayed on black diamonds, you look at them displayed on elite screens, you look at them displayed on DMP supernovas. There's no problem with the screen, is there? No. If it showed the same results as it did as Crow's product, they wouldn't make any money off the projector. No one would buy it. So it's not the projector's fault, it's Crow's product. Just like with this fellow, there's nothing wrong with painting a fixed frame screen. The only problem is his product has a problem with it. Maybe it's because you have to put so many applications on it, his screens may be a little too heavy. He's saying his product is very, very thin. All right, let's get to this whole polarization and whatever stuff. So I'm going to just show you.
The material as he's talking, on either side of your middle bar is going to...
As he's talking, concentrate on this one area right here. This is what you need to look at. Look at this and look at this. Mind you, this is supposed to have polarization and all this other nonsense attached to it and this and the other. And it's a building system of optimization and all this stuff. And you see anything, the wall did not require the same thing this required at all, period. If I took a gray sheet of construction paper, I would match your screen easily. Because look how close this is coming into matching your screen right here. And that's white. But this right here is actually even more insane.
Sag, and even if you have two bars in the back, it's still going to sag a little bit whenever you try to put pressure on your screen. So my recommendation is that if you go to paint or repaint our formula on top of a painted screen, you're going to want to remove the screen from the frame and paint it. Let it do its thing and then reattach it. Okay, and this stuff is very flexible, so it'll give you plenty of flex. It doesn't dry rigid or anything like that. But let's talk about, so my recommendation would be to use a manufactured screen, a cheap one. Find you a fixed frame screen, white, just a cheap manufactured screen, say something like an IKEA, show maybe.
All right. This is again where the person does not know exactly what he's talking about. Not all fixed frame screens are made the same. Some are made out of very heavy metal, which are hard to lift. I have one downstairs. It's that Shelby, whatever screen it is. I think it's like lifting a freaking car door at the end of the day. I have a 126-inch Elite screen. That thing is light as underwater. If you ever saw the demonstration of me transporting the screen, I transported that thing down my driveway with one hand. That's how light they are. Very easy to pick up. You run the risk of basically some of the screens will make the material too small, make it impossible to attach to a frame. Sometimes they make the springs too short, so it's harder to pull them over to connect into the frame. I like the peg system. At the end of the day, I like using the peg system. Can't go wrong with that. If you get a generic screen that comes with the peg system, much better. Now the peg system is different. It's these little pegs that you slide into the rails one by one, and then you run your rails to it, and you take it and you pull it over, and it locks in behind the back of the support rails right there, or your suspension rods. Those are better, much better. You can't go wrong with them. You have to worry about when you buy some of these screens, and sometimes at the L brackets that they use to connect them together, sometimes these jokers will make them out of plastic. I lie to you not, or some cheap metal that will snap in the process. And if one of those snap in the process, then your screen got this little ripple to it, a little bend to it. Sometimes the support bars don't fit correctly into them. You have to take a hammer to bang them suckers in there because they won't lock in place. And you'll need that because what's going to happen is your screen's going to slowly start to sink inward. You're going to have this U thing in the middle of your screen. There's a whole lot of stuff that could go wrong with your whatchamacallit. So trust with your screen. So keep in mind, not all of them are made the same. I've built a lot of fixed frame screens, and I've had some that were complete nightmares that I didn't put together, and some were just easy as a breeze. I'll tell you one thing, now Silver Ticket, I like putting those together, but that 235.1, that's a freaking nightmare. Sorry about that, but it is. You know how hard it is to build a screen that's almost like 14, 15 feet in length, and you got to slide this bar all the way up to this sleeve, and they make the sleeve hole so big that every time you slide, it goes boop, it slides through, and you got to go over and put it back in and slide it up, boop, and you got to put it back. I did do that. I hurt my back putting that thing in. I said, I'm never again buying one of these again at 235.1. Oh, man, it was a pain in the neck to put that screen together. Oh, yeah. I got it together. I'm never buying another one again. I just build mine next time. But as you can see right here, I showed you, it's matching this wall perfectly. So you went through this whole optimization of building a process, a system, or whatever, and it's matching the wall. And that's why PARTAY. If you are paying attention, I'm going to ask you again one more time. Take your screen, stick it against the wall, and show a demonstration so we can see how close that wall comes to that screen that you have over there. I would love to see this. How come you're not entertaining this theory? Maybe because it does match your wall perfectly, and at the end of the day, you don't have to do all this optimization or whatever nonsense you have to do to put the screen together, paint the screen and put it on, when you can just go out and buy the same paint that you might get from Sherman, Williams, Home Depot, Lowe's, or whatever, and just paint it directly on your wall. Now that's the part that gets me. We want to pass all this right here. Hold on, we'll play a little bit more of the wall matching.
Maven makes a good one. As a matter of fact, the last two that I've used were Show Maven, and those I bought for church screens. 120 inch, and I think the total cost with tax and everything was still just a little under $150. So not a very expensive screen, zero edge frame, and worked phenomenally for what we need it for. If you are planning to use a manual pull down or a motor for about a 7-day period, so I'm going to allow it to cure that full time, and then we'll run a test and make sure that they're allow it to cure that full. And we'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to let it cure. This material cures over about a 7-day period, so I'm going to allow it to cure.
When you hear him just say it. Now, you can get mad all you want, PARTAY, scream, rant, cry, whatever you got to do. You said it. You said it takes up to, hey, PARTAY, how you doing? That's PARTAY popping in with the fake accounts right there, right there. Something VTech, whatever it is, that's PARTAY. Keep in mind, that's you. You said that. You sat there and said on camera, 7 days for a screen to dry. Bad idea, because I can use that against you. I can wreck your product right from here with that one alone. No one's going to wait 7 days to wait for my screen to dry. At that, they're going to be terrified. They might even do 8 or 9 because they're terrified to do it. Taco dinosaur. Taco dinosaur is not sure. I get my charger real quick. Yeah, 7 days, mind you. You see how anytime something pops up, it says VTech on it, that's PARTAY. We know, we trace his IP address, that's him. Hello, PARTAY, how you doing? Glad you could pop to the room. Yeah, you know it. You said it. You said it. You just sat there and said it on camera. Right there. You said 7 days, right? That's what you said. But you know what's going to happen? If a person, it's a motorized projection screen. People are nervous as it is to paint these things as it is. If they're going to have to wait 7 days, they may wait 12 days just to be sure. Because if you have to wait that long for a screen to dry, knowing that's more than the average time of paint to dry, you're going to spook your customers. And they may wait a little longer for that to dry. So that right there, that's so skeptical right there altogether. Man, 7 days. I heard it the first time. I was like, wait. Did he just say what I thought? He just say 7 days?
For about a 7-day period, so I'm going to allow it to cure. That full material cures over about a 7-day period, so I'm going to allow it to cure that full time. And we'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to let it cure. This material cures over about a 7-day period. So
you just said this material cures about a 7-day time. Like 7 days. And it says it right there in your description, 7 days for your screen to dry. No one's going to wait that long. Nobody would wait that long. None of them go through the instructions. You have to go through all that to paint the screen. And now you got to wait 7 days for it to dry.
I'm going to allow it to cure that full time, and then we'll run a test to make sure that there's no issues. I don't expect any with any kind of motorized screen or pull down screen.
Oh, wait. We got a problem here. Partay, you messed up. We got a big problem here. All right. There's a problem that just popped up. You just said here in your instructions that your product right here says it settles, final settle of it says 5 to 7 business days. Let's keep saying business. I work all the time. 5 to 7 days. Sorry about this, people. Hold on for a minute. I gotta get my thing tight for a minute. It just popped into my head. I just thought about this a few minutes ago. Now, if you're using a fixed frame screen like the one I have over here, all right. If it takes 5 to 7, you can have that sitting there for 5 to 7 days, right? But you're talking about a motorized projection screen. This is a screen that has to be rolled up into a case. So it says right here in your instructions, it says settle into the final appearance within 2 to 3 days. So it takes 2 to 3 days for it to settle into its final appearance. You do know what final stands for, right? Final means basically the final stage. There is no stage after the final. That is the final stage right there. So which one is it? Is it 5 to 7 or is it 2 to 3? So you said final stage. You can say one of the final stages that it may have. So maybe several final stages it has to go into that particular form of transition. But you said final stage, which means at the end of the day, that is the final stage. So which one is it? Now, if it's a motorized projection screen, keep in mind, if you're saying it takes a period of 5 to 7 days for the screen to dry, but to settle into its final appearances is only 2 to 3. 2 to 3 is a lot shorter than 5 to 7. There's a little confusion there. So if the person reads this and he thinks, okay, it's the final for the screen to settle into 2 to 3, then maybe I can roll the screen up in 2 to 3 days. And if he does that and it sticks and he damages the screen, damages his motor, and that screen's expensive, I hope you are insured, because if you're not, they're going to get that money out of you. You're going to pay them people that money. And motorized projection screens in some of these churches are crazy expensive. People spend $4,000, $5,000 for a screen. You got to pay for that. So I'm curious. You're saying 5 to 7. Which one is it? 5 to 7 or 2 to 3? You're just saying it cures, our coating will continue to cure over a period of 5 to 7 days. When a screen is curing, it's still wet. It's not dry. That means there's liquid coming from the screen. So which one is it? Because you don't want liquid coming from your screen if you're rolling this thing up in a roll. Because that means things are going to stick together. You got the screen's going to be moist. Sorry to use that word, but it is. It's going to be moist. You're going to have saturation in there because the screen is curing this liquid in between. And then on top of that, it's rolled up into this tight little roll that's actually laying up against itself. Which means, keep in mind, if you basically roll a screen up, the black side of that screen is going to be rolled up with the opposite side of the screen. That's PVC. PVC actually sticks together. That's why if you buy a fixed frame screen, if you notice when you unravel it, there's a white piece of tissue paper in there. That's why they put that in there, to keep it from sticking together. So there's a problem right there with a motorized projection screen. So if a screen is curing, there is liquid coming from the screen, moisture coming from the screen. So which one is it? Is it 5 to 7? Is it 2 to 3? Because you said final appearance for it's just for it to settle. I don't get it. I was like, wait a minute, how is that going to work? Yeah, you need to basically rewrite your instructions, because that I think you just randomly just got some stuff offline and just threw it in with your product, and that's what you went with. So yeah, I don't think you actually knew.
It's the Screen Innovations video. You'll notice when they talk about the black border, how they print that on there because they want to keep as much as far as texture or thickness, material off the screen.
Newsflash, Einstein. Every single motorized projection screen borders are printed on. I've never seen a motorized projection screen in the 12 years I've been in business and over that had a velvet border attached to it. That'd be virtually impossible. It'd be too thick to put a velvet border on it. I've never seen one on any screen. Not tensions, fixed frames, none of them. They're automatically printed on from the door. You jam your motor up with that thing. So there's no way in the world. You have an uneven screen. You would have probably a couple, and you have a thick piece of felt on one side, and a thick piece of felt, and you have this thin piece in the middle. You would cause the screen to buckle. It would fold in within itself. Oh my goodness, where did people come from? These freaking seriously? You have no experience at all. How many motorized projection screens have you been around? Them cheap motorized projection screens I had downstairs, that's not felt. That's printed onto the surface. They're all like that. Every last one of them. You would never buy a motorized projection screen that says it comes with a beautiful velvet border. It never says that because they don't. They print them on. Oh my goodness, I swear. Oh my goodness, I'm telling you. Every time I watch this video, I swear, it's like I find out something new from this guy, man. It's like he doesn't know anything. Where in the world are you calling yourself a professional? Freaking unbelievable. You shouldn't think you put a border around the screen. You honestly believe they put a border around the freaking screen? Look at this, Partay. That right there is printed on. That's a printed border. They do not put velvet onto motorized projection screens. This would jam the motor up big time. You would have an uneven screen. You would have a thick piece of border here, and a thin piece in the middle. It would cause the screen to, oh my goodness. I've never heard that a day in my life. Now I know that, hey, everybody prints them on. You had to. Let me know anytime you bought a motorized projection screen and it says it comes with a 2-inch thin border, velvet border around. No, they print it on. You only get that when it comes to these screens right here. Fixed frame screens will come with the border, or you get the edgeless that don't come with them at all. That's all. And you know where the borders came in from? The borders came one for white screens, because basically kept the screen from bleeding over. It would keep it cut right into it. Now, the main screens, the more expensive screens, are borderless, so that people want. But I've never heard of buying a motorized projection screen and it says it comes with a 1-inch or 2-inch wide velvet border. But let's move on. My goodness.
This material rolls extremely thin. Even after 4 rolls, you're going to see it's a very thin coat. It looks more like a skin that's just kind of shrunk to your surface. So you'll want to watch that. It's not that it shrinks so much. I'm not concerned about the shrinkage related to those screens.
I gotta move on.
But I want to make sure apply 4 optical layers. Okay. You can apply at the end of it, and I talk about this and
Listen
the
to this.
display for
Your contrast levels are washed out really bad here. Look at that. Your screen should be matching the black rack that you have here for your setup here. It's washed out completely right there. I don't know where you're getting that. Your screen's putting a high contrast level. I don't know where you get that. But listen to this right here. Oh my goodness, I swear. Listen to this one right here.
the actual application that Kelly does here. But you can put a 5th coat if you so choose. Shouldn't be required. But if you do put a 5th coat, generally you get just a subtle amount more brightness. So a 5th coat can actually help you out, especially if you're going to be watching in brighter light. All right.
Now, you just said that you get a subtle amount of brightness if you put a 5th coat on. Mind you, you're putting a 5th coat of the same paint on How is that even possible? It's like saying that I got a bucket of water, I'm gonna add more water in to make it wetter. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm sorry. That's idiotic. That's the most dumbest thing I've ever heard. Do you have proof of this? Can you show us a demonstration of taking one with a 5th coat and one with a 4th coat and put them in a well-lit environment and see if one pulls up a better image than the other? Take it outside. As a matter of fact, I would like to see that displayed outside and see one show. And please show the brightness in both projectors or whatever you got to do, because I don't want to see one with the lighting. We're changing the settings or cutting corners like you and Crow. I want to see this because that's what we need to get done. I need to test that one out myself. So he's saying that if you add in a 5th coat, it is going to improve the contrast. I mean, improve the brightness on the projector. It's going to give you a much more brighter image if you're in a brighter environment. Okay, yeah, sure it will. Guess what, Partay? You see this wall right here? If I take the same paint that I used to paint this wall, I can make it redder. Redder than it ever been redder before. Even though it's the same paint that if I apply it on, it's going to look the same way. But I can make it redder if I put more No, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen in this world or any other world unless you can back up the theory. It's just blah, blah, blah. All right. I'm done with this. Now, this is just freaking hootenanny fun. I'm just unbelievable. Every time I come in to watch this video, it's like, it's something more I find on here. That 2 to 3 days, I mean, oh, my goodness. Are we painting the screen? Or are we building an atom smasher? Which one is it? All right, let's go pop over to Crow's because we want to get permission to send them out this right here. Now, as I said before, you know, Crow didn't do the demonstrations as we requested. What is the difference between Crow's product and black and white paint? What's the difference of you taking the tutorial video where he makes the products out of black and white paint? And is there a difference? Do they match or is there a huge difference? What are you really getting at the end of the day? What about the digital 1crystal screen paint? And we know it's a 7-year-old product. You know, we showed the video demonstrations, beta testers. What is the difference between digital 1crystal screen paint free product versus a paid product? What's the difference between the two? We gave him the option to do a review. He refused to do a review. He didn't reply back with an email or whatsoever. I'm not watching a demonstration of you ranting whether or not to say yes or no. It's yes or no. It's that easy. Just send me an email. Call me. You have my number. So that way it can be done. But he refused to do it. And this has been a request we've been asking him for months to do. Not months, I say weeks. I say months, weeks. We've been asking him to do. Now, if he hasn't done it the first time, he's not going to do it at all, period. Mind you, this is what Crow's going to have to do. He's going to have to make each one of the products. Not only the Digital 1 products, but he's going to have to make the 3 mixes that we made with the black and white tutorial video showing him making these products. And he's going to have to make them live. He's going to have to make them on camera. He's going to treat it like a cooking show, which means you could follow step by step because you too will have the ingredients for free also. So you can go back and go, oh, no, buddy. You can't put that in there. That doesn't belong in there. I have the ingredients myself. So you can't do that. You can't cut corners. You can't cheat. Now, the object is he has to be able to produce a difference between night and day. If you walk outside and it's nighttime, you know it's not daytime. And if you walk on the daytime, you know it's not nighttime. There's a difference between night and day. That's what he's going to have to show, a huge difference. The reason why he's not going to pass this is because what I saw from the Behr silver screen of him popping out of Home Depot, and it's being a much lighter product. If he had dropped about 4 tablespoons of black in there, it'd have matched the screen. No problem. All right, so we asked him to do this multiple times. You know, we did ask him to do this multiple times. And if I haven't repeated this, we asked him to do this multiple times. So one time we're in the chat, and it's shopping carts. And he was doing price gouging and carrying on. And we asked him directly. I figured I might as well. He's right there, right? He's right there. I might as well ask him. So I sent over the links. Here's the links. Oh, not only that, Crow, I forgot. The 15 tests that we did on our black screen paints, you're going to have to do those too. You're going to have to paint on your screen with black paint. You're going to do the exact same thing we did in those demonstrations. So you got to do those, about 15 of those. But you know, much time, you should be able to knock it all out. So we figured since he was right there, what better opportunity to send him over the links? And we did twice. And they were never done. Now he's ignoring us. He just don't want to speak to us all, period. Because he didn't want us to give him the links because he can't pack his product up at the end of the day. So you'll pay what? He's going to charge you $235 for a gallon when you can make it at $40 a gallon. unless he can back it up. Now, keep in mind, this is going to be with him for a bit, because any screen paint he makes is going to have to do that test now. And even more so because he basically didn't want to do it. And again, I said, Crow, this is going to spark curiosity among your customers, because now they're going to be wondering why you won't do it. Why won't you back it up? Why are you going to continue to let this person talk to you like this and you won't back it up? See, that's the kind of pressure you got now. Then you're going to have your other customers going to be thinking like, you know what, I'm going to shut him up. I'm going to do it myself, and find out that it does match. And now you got somebody that's directing their anger towards you, because they're not going to do a rant on YouTube, because that'll make Mr. Bird right. And they're not going to give me that kind of credit, are they? They're going to direct it secretly right to you. And that's what's happening right now. That's why your eBay account went down. Because you got people on there logging in, probably filing complaints against your account. You can't back your product. Neither one of y'all can. But y'all want to talk about everybody else's product and you can't back it up. One got his shopping carts locked and can't open them up. And the other one right there refuses orders left and right. But your products are supposed to be the best. See, let me just show you one little thing here, right here. Just before we're going into crows in a few minutes. You see this right here at the bottom? When I told you we had this right here, when I've been in his shopping carts quite a few times. You see where it says coming in September of 2021? We made that purchase for that paint way beyond that date. Not way beyond, after that date. So his launch date was even late, which means he couldn't make the resources for the product. I don't know what was going on. I can't say he just didn't have it. But we made that order. We made an order. Our order came in. Let me see. We ordered, the only paint he had on there available was the Vega order. That's the only thing he had. So I'm going to ask you a question. On a product that you can't even ship out because you're afraid to ship it out. How does that work? PARTAY, or Danny, if you want to be called by that name. How does that work? How do you basically slander a product that you're afraid to ship out to me to do test on? And nobody else can get your product because your shopping carts are clearly locked. Now you see right there it says coming in September. Remember that? I told you it's in the site changing things around. Let's go pop over to your site. Let's go pop over to that Vega. See if it's in there. All right, do your self applications right here. There you are right there. All your shopping carts locked, sold out. You only had one shopping cart open, and that was that one. Now, like I said, my theory is, and everybody else's theory in the chat room, when we posted in the forum site, it was like, how in the freak did that shopping cart freaking go out of stock the minute you purchased your product? I said, well, two things. Either nobody's buying from him, and I'm the only one that he got money from, or he was in there monitoring the site the entire time, and he saw my order go through. And instead of letting me get any more paint from him, he got rid of it. He shut down the shopping cart. Because the good thing he did, because I was going to buy 3 more after that. Yeah, I had some tests set up for you. So he shut the cart down. So you go click on his cart, right? Let's see if we get that launch date. It's supposed to be coming up in September, right? Where's the launch date at? Not even there. Sold out. So your product, if your product was selling like you said it was selling, there's no way in the world that I'd have been in your shopping cart roaming around in there a month and 2 weeks and nobody purchased anything. The minute I bought something, your shopping cart went and sold out automatically, which means that was your last one. And I was in there a month and 2 weeks and your shopping cart sold it that quick. That don't add up. No, you was in there making sure I don't get access to your shopping carts again. You locked them. And that's the reason why when we got the one product that we're able to get from him, let me show you right here real quick. Turn to the side. Let's go over to, let me see. I gotta go into my regular mail for that one. And then try to keep my money. Yeah, I don't call it like it is. You're a thief. You and Crow both thieves. Because you're going to try to sit on my money and not give me my product. You're going to try to keep both. I'm calling y'all both, what are y'all thieves? How else would you explain it? I got to go in. Mind you, we didn't even want the money. We just wanted the product. That's it. You can keep the money, but you were too terrified to give us your own product. So what is the point? People come in and do these for talking about, oh, so he's testing. What would I care? He can't back his own stuff up. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Let me see what we got right here. case number. Here we go, Mr. Partay. Partay, we made a successful order for PARTAY's product right there. That's when the order went through. Let's see what we got from PayPal notification service on this problem with this individual. They're waiting to hear from Partay. Yeah, he sent the message, waiting to hear from him. And reply back. Okay. Then Crow came in right after him. I mean, shoot, I would have put some money in your pocket last night. I was willing to go in there and buy, but can't buy. Shopping carts are locked. He's terrified. And then he want to send me these dumb emails. I'm going to take you to court and sue me for what? For what? Those are your own words right there. Didn't you not say that? I want to call you doofus so bad, but I'm trying to keep myself from calling you something unprofessional. But I do want to call you doofus. Because you guys are just not that smart. You really aren't that smart. There you go. Case closed. What's at the bottom? Who says that? Partay. $160. File a case against you, and you're gonna say, "Oh, Crow comes and go, oh, but you wanted your money back." No, we didn't want our money back. We wanted the item. See, you jokers are just dumb at the end of the day, and this is why. Both of you are stupid, and I'm gonna tell you why. You thought for a minute that you were gonna sit on that order, you weren't gonna cancel it, you were just gonna keep my money and just sit on that order and do nothing. That's what you thought. No. We're gonna light a fire underneath of you. We're gonna contact PayPal and says, look, this is the deal. We want the merchandise. We don't want the money. I said it several times on the camera. So you have a 10-day period. We don't get our money back right away. They give you a chance of time. That's why I said the way you two talk, you don't have a grasp of reality. Anyone's ever worked with PayPal know how PayPal works. So they give you 10 days. You got 10 days to get a tracking number together. They give you 10 days to get the item and shipped out the door. That's what they give you. They don't automatically transfer you the money. They put the money on hold. They take it out of your account. They put it on hold. And then they give you a certain amount of time to go in and get the item from A to B. That's what they do. You got 10 days to do that. We had a customer who put a non-subscribe because his package got delayed a little bit. We were able to go into detail tracking to figure out where it's at, get the package to the customer, and figure out where it's at. But still, the complaint was there. So in order to get the money back on our account, we had to show that the item was delivered in order for the money to transfer on the account. Everybody knows this one already. You got a certain amount of time. But say if your time does not starts to run out, you can call PayPal and get an extension on your time. You can do that. So as long as the package shows that it's in transit and it's moving. If it's standing still, they won't do it. But if it's basically moving, then you're good. So anyway, with this right here, if they gave us back our money right away, we would have our money back right away. But we don't. They give you, the seller, the merchant, enough time to be able to fix the problem and get the item shipped off. If that was the case, I would lose a ton of money doing business with PayPal, because the minute somebody filed a complaint against me, they would automatically get the money back, whether or not we can ship the product or not. There you go. That's how dumb y'all sound when y'all speak sometimes. So everybody knows that they give you 10 days. You had 10 days to get that item to me. You know what you guys do? You guys forfeit before 10 days and give me my money back right away, because you had no intention of shipping the product to me to begin with, because you can't back your product. Good gracious. But y'all come on camera spewing all kinds of dumb nonsense. Neither one of them know what they're talking about at the end of the day. They really don't. I swear. I would have a better chance of understanding if the Cat in the Hat read Green Eggs and Hams and just basically put it to an audio video version of projection screens than basically you guys explaining stuff. I don't even know how people fall into some of the dumb stuff you guys speak about. 5 applications makes the screen brighter, but you got no proof that actually even works. Stick it out in sunlight. Let's see if there's a difference. All right, let's go over here to freaking Crow's page right here, and let's go have a chat with him. Because now I realize that we can utilize his site to basically talk to him directly. Partay does not. At least on the other hand, if Crow calls me, he has some sort of common sense where he does know how to act like an adult at certain degrees until he gets upset. He gets frustrated. He goes into a tantrum. Partay, on the other hand, 5-year-old child, 24/7. He comes and he just calls with curse words, and that's basically about it. That's what he does. Let me see. Oh, wait, we got to go through that. We're going to the page to do that one. That's what we usually do. Let's go bring them up real quick. Here we go. There, let's go pop in the Crows. I got some links to send him. Now, of course, he's going here showing the butt pictures because, you know, Crow's obsessed with my derriere. I think he is. I'm going to tell you something. I mean, my friends were laughing all that. Who does that? I watch paint videos all the time. I do. I like to watch painting videos. I like paint and watch paint videos. And you see butt crack from time to time. Big deal. I'm not going to take pictures of it and save it to my phone. Yeah, questionable. I'm ready when you go to jail. You should do real well. All right, let me see. Let's go pop in this link real quick. Like, this gonna bother me. Come on, man. I'm a grown freaking man. That don't bother me at the end of the day. Nah, I'm good. What bothers you is you can't back your product up. Let's see if he pops up. He should be popping right here. See if he chats. If he pops up. Oh, I think he might be coming in. There he is. He just popped in. There we got him. There he is right there. All right. There he is offset. We'll send the links over. Let's ask him up front. Hello. Okay, so we're speaking, saying hello, and we're going to ask them. Let me see. I can put the links in. Can you do these tests today? Thank you. Did I just butcher that bird, people? I think I did. So I'm asking him if he'll do these tests today. So the test we're requesting for Crow to do is the black and white paint product because he's not doing these tests. This is something you as a consumer need to see at the end of the day if you are basically getting the real deal or if he's basically selling you a black and white paint product. All right, so how can you do these tests? I should put an S there. Test today. Side by side. Black and white. This is versus your screen. All right, we're going to firm the first set of, I think these right here we got in the paste. Oh, this is the digital1crystal screen paint. Yeah, these right here. We're going to send these over to him right now. So he's getting the personal mix, which we did all those right there. These are the test demonstrations. There's a deleted video that he deleted off his account, which we used to make the, I asked him that from the beginning when he first was showing off that when we saw the video, I said, can you do a demonstration of these black and white mixes that you have on this video versus your product, you know what I mean? And he just wouldn't do it. So, you know, we're just sending him directly all the links, everything. You guys have the same thing too. So he has the site to the digital1crystal website. He can go there and make the products over there, and he can put it against his own products and see if they match up. Because at the end of the day, you need to know, bottom line is you can make this stuff for free, or you can go and pay $85 for a product at the end of the day that you can make yourself because he doesn't want to back it up. Like I said, we have to be, he comes at us and say, look, at the end of the day, your product is black paint, it's this and that, you know, anybody can make it's just black paint. We can come in and show you demonstrations that our product is not black and white, it's not black paint. We've done these tests already, all right? Dozens of them. Black fabric. Oh, I forgot about the gray bed sheets too, because I want to see that too. I'm curious to see about gray bed sheets. Because we did black sheets and fabrics against our screen to show higher white levels and stuff like that. You know, drawing on the screen, doing cool stuff like that. So we have to back our products up. We even had tests going back all the way to the 7 showing demonstrations on those demonstrations and gunmetal screens and stuff like that. So it's only fair if you're going to question us to do these tests to prove what our products are. It's only fair that you do the same thing too. The fact that you don't want to do these tests clearly shows at the end of the day that your product is what it is. If your customers have to step in and do this for you, something is really wrong there. So let's go over and let's send them over to, so he has the ones for the demonstration we did with our, these are the tests we did with our products with black paint versus our product right here. Also, I do have the 7s, I had the gunmetals, all of them. We're going to give him all of these right here. We're going to ask him if he can do these tests also too, showing his product against black paint. So we'll have to do these also. Let me see where he's at right here. We just had him a few minutes ago. Was he here? Nope, not there. Where do we have him ready popping at? We had him a few minutes ago. Here we go. Also, and we're being very politely, also, I'll butcher that for a minute, sorry about that, people. Also, can you do these tests of versus, I put another black, sorry about that, versus your black screen paint. Oops. All right, so we're asking that one. So I asked them also, can you do these tests of black paint versus your black paint, or black, we're saying black house paint. Put down house paint. That'd be a little more easier. House paint versus your paint. And I'll put down a nice thank you at the end. Now, you know why Crow isn't showing any more of those pictures he was showing? Well, like I said, he's being contacted. He's being contacted by Better Business Bureau. You know why? Because he committed fraud on his site. And also, too, by showing those graphic pictures he showed, we also contact the legal department of also Wix. Get things faster when you have lawyers to do all that stuff for you, because lawyers know how to speak that language. That language, you're like, what the freak did he just say? Like, the language. And I speak that language. That's why we send them to do it. All right, so we're asking them to do the black demonstration show on top of that. You know, being very polite. Let's send the links over for him. For him, it's a lot of links, man. I hope he got the time, because it's a lot of links. He's going to have to do all of these. Boom. Those are our tests right there. Every last one of those. So that's all we asked. Now, you see, we talked to him directly. He did come on. He's activated right now. As you can see, it's in green. He's activated. So you can say, I wasn't online. Yes, you're online. You're green. You're activated. Everybody knows what that means. I love how people say things and act like everybody in the real world doesn't know what it means. Like, really seriously. It's like the equivalent when a cat does something and he's staring right at you when he does it. Like, you think he's in this cloaking device and you can't see him. Like, hey, you know I'm looking at you, right? So, yeah, that kind of stuff right there. So we sent them the links for, let me see what we sent over here. Make sure we got links here. We sent them links for the black paint, our test against our black technology. He's going to do those against his own screens. We sent them the ingredients for the Cinemax, the ingredients for the digital1crystal screen paint. That's one of them. He still has like 6 of those to make in that shopping cart, because we added some extra ones in there. This is the Digital One Ice 2.9 HD paint. This is a real light paint. We have 2 of those in there. We sent one over for the, hey, what's going on? That right there, the tech whatever, that is PARTAY. That's definitely PARTAY, Mr. PARTAY, or Danny. We'll call you Danny from now on. All right, so Jamie over here, we have the customer. If you want to look at that, that's the customer who got upset with him about the, hold on for a minute. I got to put something in right now. Thank you right there. I'll add that in there real quick. Thank you. Boom. There we go. I had to put something in real quick. So right there, we got the customer put in the free mix. Now, this customer, like I said, not customer, but guy on YouTuber made this free screen paint mix. You know, you can try it out for yourself. It looks actually very promising. I make some of it myself. I use this for primer. That's what I use it for. I actually use it for primer. Primer's pretty good. All of the primer's pretty good. But that right there, that's the mix from the YouTuber. You want to check that out? We put that in there. He made the paint from black, you know, something so forth. You can make that product too. On top of that, we sent that to Jamie too. He has to make that too also. And then under these, we have the UV mix, Metallica mix, and personal mix. There is the video right here showing you the deleted link that y'all can't seem to find. It disappeared off his account somehow, and now y'all can't find it. Here it is right here. Now, mind you, as I said before, oh wait, wrong person. This is the YouTuber has the complaint against him. We need, and PARTAY, you got somebody that doesn't like you. There is somebody we've seen has been spewing out video. He tested your product and your product doesn't work. So we did find a few people who did not like his product, and his product did the exact same thing as house paint. We're going to track those down in a few minutes, but give me a minute here. Let's see. Let's go over here. I want to go back to where we're at real quick. This was the customer who had the problem with him. This right here would be, let me see. This is, we need to do it yourself mix. This should be it right here. This is it instead. Sorry about that. I went the wrong one right there for a minute. Nice. All right, let's copy that one. Let's go through that one and let's check that one out. Now, this video, we used this tutorial to make his product. This is what we use. In a demonstration, we weren't trying to Well, and Buddy Boy, someone just typed about my product being flat black paint. How late are you? You just now getting to this freaking talk? Literally, this guy just came in. Just your product is black, white. Yeah, okay, sure. Again, we've done this about 15 times against our product versus black paint, but I'm not going to go down that road. You check out the links below. All right, grab a cup of coffee, grab some crow pie, and knock yourself out. We've done that already. But anyway, let's go back over here. Most interesting, when I was in here doing the demonstration, somebody had to make the product live so everybody can see it. And somebody said, well, how come you don't do it? I was waiting for you to come into the room. Thank you so much. You put a smile on my face. Here's a demonstration of us making several black paint products to match against our own screen. While we're at it, we put a t-shirt, hoodie, sheets, whatever. He got mad and left the room. Yeah, okay, bye-bye. See you later, Barbie. But anyway, here we go. Look at this. Now look, now here we go right here. This is the video that's deleted. You can't find right here. In this video, it shows Crow making a screen paint, making a black and white product. Now, this video was deleted off his account. You can't find it. That's the name of the paint right there, as you can see. And we actually made the Metallica mix, personal mix, and UV mix from using the insane video right here. Except for we just added more black paint and some we had less black paint. So when making the personal mix, we landed it not with 2, not with 3, we landed the personal mix with 4. We landed the Metallica mix with 10, but with the 10, it also did about 90% of the personal mix. The UV mix was different. The UV mix was a versatile. We started off with black paint first and put in 6 tablespoons of white paint and was able to land the UV mix. So that is the inside of Crow's house right there. Hello, how you doing, Partay? You guys are just now getting up, mad and angry right now? That's not my problem. Next time, don't do fake demonstrations. You don't get out of it like this. And next time when I order paint from you, make sure my paint comes to my house and doesn't get canceled. I can never understand that. Someone's going to talk trash about how their products are supposed to be this, that, and the other. They canceling orders out left and right. This is the video you can't find. This is the video we have. So in this video, what we did was we just used his tutorial video to make the paint, and it worked. So all we're asking him to do today, the links I sent over to him, he has to make those 3 different mixes that we used, put that against his own product, and then he's going to have to make all 6 of the Digital and Crystal screen paint products live on camera so everybody can see the ingredients, what's going in. Just like you're seeing it here, it's exactly the same way we want him to display all of the screen paint mixes, including the black. Well, black is easier to put black paint. You have to do the demonstration right there, but I want to see what happens. I want to see, take that Behr silver screen and put in 6 tablespoons of black into that, 4, 3, and even in that, I want to see what's going to happen, if it's going to match. So in this demonstration, which you'll get to see, it's in the link, I didn't match the paint against the Metallica mix. I matched it against the personal mix, something that was completely different from the product. Went in the kitchen, we made everything up right there, boom, boom, boom. You can watch it on the video. Painted the screen in, went in and got the sample sheet. And let me see. There is the sample sheet right there against the screen. For the same level, mind, that is a personal mix versus the Metallica mix. Now, just to show you that the product is not worth your time, this is we painted 1 sample sheet of ourselves. For ourselves, I painted 1 for myself for a demonstration. I painted the other one, which is the original, to show you that both of them match. They react the exact same way next to our black screens, and how our black technology is far more superior. Here we go. And that's the 235.1 that I told you about. I had the headache putting that screen together. Yeah, that's a 235.1 setup in there. See? House paint. So that's what we're requesting from Crow, because for some reason, every time we request this from him, it falls on deaf ears every single time. So you got a chance to watch me a live stream, go right into there. He popped up. I said, hello, how you doing? So and so. Sent over the links. We expect Crow, Jamie, or whatever you call yourself, to have those tests done by the end of the week. And when you do those tests, we expect for you to do them live on camera so everybody can see, announce the ingredients that you're making so people can follow that. That way you can't go in and put anything into it to alter it, change it. They can make it right along with you and see if it matches your product at the end of the day. And that's what you'll have to do. As for PARTAY, we would appreciate it if you break down that ingredients a little bit there. Basically, those instructions seem a little bit off the wall. You're saying that you put in a 5th application on it, it makes it brighter. Do you have any proof to back that up? What happens if I take out 2 of the applications, only do 1 4 on one, and I take out 2 of the other one? Does it show a difference in the screen? What is the setting time for the screen if it's at 150 inches? Oh wait, get into that really quick too, because his product only does up to 100 to 120, 100 to 120 inch screen. That's what this product does. So quite a lot of paint when you consider the fact that it takes 4 applications to paint one screen. When you consider that, it takes a lot of applications to paint a screen. I don't care how thin your layers would have to be. In order for your layers not to have a buildup with 4 applications, even 5, you would have to have very thin paint. It would have to be like a stain. That's what it has to be, like a poly or a stain, very thin for it not to build up. And from what I've seen from the way that paint was being pushed around, that paint isn't that thin. It's actually a little thick. So if you put 4 applications on that, of course, that would be very heavy. That wouldn't be light. The only way that would be light, unless it was like, had the same, it was the same as water. So the more you would add to it, you really wouldn't be adding such a layer to it. You wouldn't. It would be basically expanding outward. It'd be thinning out as you would paint it. But what you pushed around that screen had a kind of a buildup on the end of the roll that showed it wasn't that thin. This is stuff I noticed when I watched demonstrations. You didn't think I saw that in your demonstration, did I? You said your product was thin. There's a difference between if you take poly and you push that around, it doesn't have a buildup at the top of the room. It's very thin when you move it around. Your product had a buildup enough to be to push it to cause the screen to streak from left to right. That product, your product is not that thin. Now, if your product claims to be that thin, what would be the issue with coverage? I mean, basically, you would have a problem with some kind of imperfections. Like, say, if you have some kind of small holes or something in the wall, usually if a product with a little more thicker to it is able to coat in or build up, cause a buildup to be able to cover up those areas. How would it be applied to that? And then on top of that, would it be thin? How would it react to other surfaces? How would that even take? Have you tested that theory yet? So much missing, so many questions. This is why I would love to have your product down here. Oh, the testing I would do. The testing, so much testing. Is it weatherproof? Can we take this outside? Can we submerge this in water? Can I take a Brillo pad to it? Once it's soaked into a surface, you have to take Brillo pads, forks and Brillo pads, and see if you can chip the paint. If I freeze your screen, will it crack? Will it peel? If I heat it up, what would happen to it? Would you get a bubble effect? Because sometimes you can have a bubble effect. A bubble effect, bottom line, is when heat hits the back of the screen and it causes the screen to push out, causes air pockets, causes the screen to sweat, and you have a little bubble that'll pop out on the other end. So, you know, that will cause the screen to lip off the surface. Heat does that. So has your screen been tested on that level? You're showing outside screen paints. The minute you show a screen outside, you have to be to show if it can take on everyday elements, like cold, rain, sleet, the whole 9 yards. At least it would have to be outside about a year or so. He's quite quiet as a church mouse, but you don't want me asking you questions at the end of the day. All right, let me see. This is the part that I find interesting right here. All right, so I wonder if he changed his quart size in here again. All right, so the quart size is 48 ounces. All right, 48 ounces is a quart. You're painting a screen size of 120 inches. Now, if you were to do this with 32 ounces, you would get probably a little bit, you would probably be to do it 100, depending on how much coverage you can get per square inch off your product. The only way you could figure that out is you're going to have to do it quart by quart. Now, if you do 1 quart and you're able to have like about that much left over, then again, you're still going to have to do 120 inch. So you're going to have to paint 100 inch, 120 inch, 150 inch, 180 inch, 200 inch screen. You're going to have to do that. And you're going to have to do that court by court to figure exactly how much per square inch or how much coverage does it take in order to cover that screen. The problem you have here is you have a 48 ounce. I don't even know why you would put that up there to begin with. I think, quite frankly, you were copying us. So a 48 ounce will give you an extra 16 ounces on top of the 32 ounces you will have in there to begin with. So now your screen size has maximized by 16 more ounces. Did you even measure that out? Because at the end of the day, it probably is approximately around somewhere at 140, 150 inch screen. That's what you have. But see, it's interesting because this would cost you more money. Now, Crow, on the other hand, it wouldn't cost them much money because Crow could go out and get black and white paint. He gets $17 for a quart of black paint and $23, and he could break that down into $85 per quart. Where you, on the other hand, it would take an entire gallon to make a quart. Actually, literally, yeah, it would take an entire gallon of paint in order to paint a 100-inch screen or 120 inch, because you require a 4-coat application. And that means if you get 4 coats out of a gallon, each one of those coats is an application, which would equal up to a gallon. Altogether in ounces, around 128 ounces. Did you think about that? Oh, yes, there's a lot more that goes into screen paint than just basically just mixing colors together. Yeah, you have to be able to know exactly how much you're putting out, because at the end of the day, you could lose money in this. You then put up more product and end up losing money at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, this individual has to ship out a gallon just to make to do a 100-inch or 120 screen. He has to ship out a gallon. Where if Crow were to make a gallon, he would only have to ship out, let's see, well, yeah, if Crow were to do a 100-inch screen, he would have to ship out 1 quart. That's it. He should be able to get a 100-inch or 120-inch from 1 quart easily. He should be able to do that. So out of his profit, he would make $80 per 4 times 80 per gallon. Where PARTAY, his product requires a 4-coat application, which means it would cost him 1 gallon to paint a 120-inch screen. You didn't do your math correctly, did you? And by switching over to the 48 ounce, the 40 ounce doesn't fit in a medium-sized box, as we showed you. Only 2 fit in there, which means you're short 2 more containers, which means you'll have to ship out 2 of those boxes at $14 a pop. Unless you're going to put them in a bigger box, which is at $20. But if you kept it at 32, you can put 4 of those into 1 box, and you can actually charge about 14 bucks. Ta-da! I'm sorry, people, that's the point where I roll my eyes and I look in another direction and shake my head like, people they don't know how to calculate. You don't know business. You don't know anything about business at all, period. At the day, you don't know. You just basically cost yourself so much money right now from just doing that. The shipping is going to cost you more. It's going to cost more for you to ship it'll cost Crow about $14. And if he does it by the box, regular medium-sized box, if he does it by the envelopes, $8. I want to do envelopes. We did that before. It didn't go too well. So that's why we stopped doing it. We do it by boxes now. So $14. You're going to have to pay an extra $6 for that and a little bit of tax in order to ship that out, because your containers are too big to fit inside the box. On top of that, you're shipping out more paint. You're shipping out 16 more ounces of paint to paint a screen size of only 120 inches. Because that's what you have on your site right there, 120 inches right there at 48 ounces. 40 ounces are going to do more because it's 16 ounces more. So you're adding in actually more paint for something you're not going to even get paid for at the end of the day. So you didn't do your math correctly. See, that's why you got to stop copying people, man. At the end of the day, you got to stop copying people. At the end of the day, do you know why we have these 48 ounces PARTAY or Danny? The reason why we have them is because the screens that we have under Fandom have 48s in them. They're 48s. So if you're doing a 48 ounce, right, that means a 48 ounce for us, our measurements will give us, one of them will give us a screen size of 150 inches, which means that eliminates the 2 32 ounces, which actually do 150 inches. See what I mean? One of those at 48 can do a screen size of 150 inch instead of us shipping out 2 32s. So that eliminates the 2 32 quarts. They're gone. We don't have to have them anymore. Now, because of that, we don't have to do the one. Actually, we can do the 1 gallon. So 1 gallon basically is good because we can do that one from the door, but that ships out to 150, 1 gallon. And then, yeah, it's only 2 of them we have to do. When you think about it, oh, yeah, if it has a 2 gallon attached to it, if it has a 2 gallon. So we have the 2 gallon, 1 gallon, and the 48. The 48 does the size of 150 inch, which means it eliminates the 1 quart at 32 and eliminates 2 quarts at 32. You see what I mean? So now we just have 48, 1 gallon, and 2 gallons. That's it. That's why we have them, because we changed over to the new containers. Now, instead of me going out, because the Phantoms or Phoenixes had 32s attached to them, but instead of me going out the U-line and paying $75 for a whole bunch of freaking 32s that may not all get used, and then spend the money for the 48s and make it all get used, I just thought we'd just make them all 48s and just make it even, make it easier that way. And we just eliminate the 2-quart containers. That's why we came with that conclusion. But you guys decided to copy us, didn't know exactly what was the purpose, and you ended up losing money by doing that. So now you got to ship out more paint for a screen size that you have measured at 120 inches, not 150 inch, 120 inch. So you lose 16 ounces of paint per every 32 that you have to ship out, and that's out of 4 out of a gallon. So it takes a gallon of paint to paint 120 inch of your screen paint. You didn't do the math. You're going to have to re-ramp everything on your site now. Everything's going to have to be re-ramped. Everything. And if that's the case and you have an extra 16 ounces, my customer has, yeah, he has almost close to around that 16, about 32. Are you kidding me? Yeah, you shipped them out a lot of extra paint. That's a lot of extra paint just for a screen size of 120 inches. Now, if you had it at 150, right? Then if you did it at 150 inches, then you would basically be utilizing the 16 ounces extra. But at 120, you're giving away even more because you have it at 120 inches, which means they have enough extra paint to paint a couple other screens from out of that too. You lost money in that, definitely. All right, well, I'm done. I couldn't explain any more than that. I didn't think about that, but yeah, 64. You lost 64 ounces out of that. If you did, I'm pretty sure my math is correct on this. So at 32, and if you did basically at around 48, that'd be an extra 16 per each 32, would give you 64. Yeah, you lost money on that big time. You did. Because 132 is going to paint up to 120 inch screen. You literally just gave enough screen paint to paint 220 inch screens easily. And you're not even going to get paid for it. This is why it pays to do your math and not copy other people. Do your own research and figure out how it's going to work out for you. Because for me, it works out for us perfectly. We don't have a problem with that. We don't lose any money over it. But you, on the other hand, yeah, you just lost some money on it. You lose more money than most people because you have a forward application to go into your screen. That's what lose money. Where most people are just going to have one. And Crow, at the end of the day, is still going to lose money because he can't prove his product not to be what it is supposed to be. At the end of the day, you can go to Digital1Crystal Screen Paint, and make it over there, or you can basically have his product. At the end of the day, our product is free, and at the end of the day, our product has more weight than Crow. Crow just has no contact with contracts and none of that stuff, no beta, not on the level that the Digital One was under. And keep in mind, the Digital One is 7 years old. It's an old screen paint. So you got a brand new projector, you got an old 7-year-old product sitting on your wall from Crows, but at least at the end of the day with the Digital One, you don't really pay for it. You can pretty much make as much as you want. Let's see what we added on there. We added some new paint on there too for you guys. We added the ultra lights on there. So the ultra lights are the really, really light, really high white levels. We added those on there, 2 of them on there for you. Let me see. Let me see. We have it here. Oh, I gotta go into the whatchamacallit, all that right there. So that's why I said when you naysayers come in talking about kind of sound like the chef on the Muppets to me, to tell you at the end of the day. At the end of the day, when I sit there and tell you we don't care because they got to back their products up. And once they back their products up, then we can go to the next stage. We can't even test their products because they're afraid to ship it out. So what are you bragging about? How are you bragging about a product that's supposed to be top notch and you can't even ship it out? None of alone be able to back it. You need your customers to back your product because you can't even back your own products. Let's go over here and live. I want to pick up this one right here real quick. Which one is it right here? Is it this one? I think it's this one right here. We'll put the new one in there. There it is right there. I went to go there. Boom, there's the site. Yeah, the site was down for a while because Mr. Bird forgot to freaking register his domain name. I don't even know why it even slipped my mind. I went to go link it up. I was like, wait, where's the site? That site can't be found. Oh, no. That's bullcrap. Went there and I forgot to basically verify my freaking domain name. So that was basically it. Easy McCheesy, fix it. All right. Yeah. And I got y'all haters on here. They came into my, oh, you're a scammer, you're so and so and so. Let me explain something to you, haters. Let me explain something to you real quick. When you come on here talking, sending these messages across, it's going to a blank email. It's not going to anything, nothing, period. Your response is going nowhere. You know, I can redirect my mail where I want it to go to. I can redirect it just strictly to just junk. That's it. That's where your replies are going to. And when I see when I go on junk, man, I see your replies. Oh, you're a scammer. Blah, 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 blah. Let me explain something to you. That product was out before you ever existed. Not saying you weren't born, but before you even knew who Mr. Bird was, that Mr. Bird made screen paint, you didn't know who I was. 7 years ago, you didn't know anything about me at all, period. Unless you were from that era when we developed and made this stuff, you were the only way you'd ever known me. Other than that, you didn't know who I was. When I came over here and I started showing my first videos from digital1crystal screen paint of me making a gray screen paint product, most of the Crow boys were shocked because they thought all I made was black paint. No, I made the exact same thing you got sitting on your wall. The only difference between me and Crow is my product got signed to a 10-year global contract. Yep, and made a ton of money off of it. That's the difference. Now, if Crow had bought this product out around 7 years ago, it did quite well because that's pretty much what everybody was making back then. That gray paint. And we got our beta testers right there, paint on demonstrations, the whole 9 yards. You can even go in here, you can click right there, and you can go right over to the page that we have set up where they set up that was over in Europe. Right there, boom, right there. Look at that. You can look at it right there. This is where we were at 7 years ago. 10-year global contract under my product. You can see all the CEOs and the parties and the gift bags and the meetings with the investors, and our screens being displayed overseas. Can you say that about Crow's product or PARTAY? And their product is in the now. This is 7 years ago. Oh, you can't say that, can you? And this is a product that had literally that much weight behind it, and we gave it to you for free, naysayers. I think what upsets you, like I said, at the end of the day, is that the fact that you praise this paint as being this, that, and the other, and all the while, it was an old spring paint. I've been telling you that. I told you it's an old product. And you don't believe me. You don't believe me? Go ahead, prove me wrong. Paint it against your wall and see what happens. You might even get it better. And on top, we gave you the ingredients, so that gives you the ability to go in and change a little bit. So that way you don't have to put any second guess of messing it up. You go, okay, I'll put a little black more in here and so on, so on, so. Who knows, you may come up with something better. You're 7 years old, but still, it's something. Like I said, it's better than a white screen. At the end of the day, it's not going to match your technology in any way whatsoever. But at least it's better than a white screen, and it's not going to cost you $80 or $160. Yeah, we throw him in there too. Because at the end of the day, he can't even match his. He can't even do a proper demonstration of his product against his own wall in his theater room. And since you did put my money, we had to go put the money back in the account because you didn't ship it out. Guess what? You got no credibility by me. You couldn't even ship out your own product. You couldn't even deliver. Oh, that was an interesting time. Many buttons. Heck, you can call it a throwback legendary because that's what it was. Here's my screen on display in another country. That was interesting to see. To watch your product up there on display like that. See that tannish look to it? Told you, all those screens do that. But Crow, if you want to, feel free to show me, email link that where your product is contracted by a country, you got your stuff on display. I would love to see that. I really would like to see that. Outside demonstrations and all that good stuff. There's a whole big party we're having over there. There we go with all that. People getting together, gift bags, champagne, whole big 9-yard, whole party went down over there. Now we were invited to go, but you think I was getting on an airplane and flying all the way over there? Oh heck no. I'm not going. They brought me down to champagne. I told you they brought me down a couple of bottles of champagne, but I don't drink. I went around to the corner store with my people. Like, hey, anybody want some expensive champagne? Broke out the Dixie cups. Trina gave it to them. They drank it, but no, not for me. I didn't want it. So that's where our product was at. So when you naysayers come and talking about, oh, this is a scam, keep in mind that product was out before you even knew who I was. So impossible for it to be called a scam or something that's been out that long that was attached to a global contract. If it was a scam, they would have never signed their name to that contract. Use some common sense when you speak at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, I don't know why you hating on me. I just gave you a free product that's better than his. Probably will match his too on top of that. And since he can't do the test and he won't do the demonstrations at the end of the day, well, I can say what I want to say. Our product is better. So enjoy. Make as much as you want. Make as much as you want. Let me see over here real quick what he got right there. Tap right there. Digital. There's no digital more over here. Nope. Go back over here. Here we go. So it's very easy to navigate the site. You just go up to the top. I'm in portrait mode, people, by the way. Head over here where it says shop. It costs you nothing. You just have to make the ingredients. We got a couple extra ones in there. These are the new ones. These are the ultra lights we just added in there for you. Go over and hit any one of the shopping carts right here. Is 0. And that's it. And you can make the product right from there. All the ingredients is right there. Now, like I said, if you want to sit there out of spite and go, no, I'm not going to make this. I take my, go ahead. I don't care. At the end of the day, it's not my money. It's your money at the end of the day. I wouldn't care. I really don't care. That's your money, not mine. That's the extra $80 you can put toward bills, maybe some Christmas gifts, maybe some food in your refrigerator or something else. At the end of the day, you know, you can blow your money on something and later on you can do the test yourself and cry from your screen for about a half an hour because I told you not to do it to begin with, but you know, some people don't listen. Or you can just basically just make the product and basically enjoy the screen. Even my own customers. Sometimes, like I said, I got a few customers out there who may not at the time right now, things might not be straight for them. At least it's better than a white screen. It's something, you know? Ah, man. All right. I have got to, well, I can't paint the screen today, so that's done. What are we going to be doing today? Pac-Man screen, probably, so yeah. I'm going to go print out my stickers and get ready to start working from my screen and a few, get myself a big bowl of Lucky Charms. So that's pretty much all I had to put out there and stay right there from the door, you know? Because like I said, these two jokers want to come in here talking about how they're doing all this testing. You ain't doing jack. You got one shopping cart that don't open up and got the other one. Oh, let me go on to eBay. See if we can find Crow on eBay. While we're here. I wonder if I ever bought that. Oh, I didn't buy that, did I? I'm trying to get my hands on a Steel Battalion controller. If you don't know what that is, you missed out. You missed out. All right, so let me see. Top, we got Crow's. I'm gonna charge it right now. Hold on. We at the top, we got Crow's screen paint mix. All right. Now, I don't know. He might have put it back in. Sometimes he'll delete stuff, put it back in just to show that it never went anywhere. But let's see. We might get lucky. Maybe his product will pop up. Oh, we know it ain't that right there. So it's paint mix. That ain't coming up. I told you, when you word stuff in here, you got to word a different way. So we did Crows. Let's go put down projection. All right, put in projection. That's what we get from there. When the moon hits your eye like a big piece of pie, that's amore. Da-da-da-ding, da-da-da-da-doom. So you have to be careful what you put in. So that's not putting it up. All right, let's try words that you have to put in. So I'm going to put in projector. All right, put in projector. And get 35 millimeter, by the way. You know, nothing's coming up underneath that. So not the other ones are not coming up, so we still have to search again. We're just getting everything done. All right, let's put in mix. Let's take out paint, projector. Oh, come on, play nice. Projector mix. Let's see what that brings up. Now we brought up projectors. That's what we got out of that. All right. Let's try it again. Let's try, let's see. Ooh, somebody got a lot that big. What are these right? Never mind. I don't want those as garbage. Those are garbage. Yeah, definitely garbage. All right, let's put down crow. Projector paint. Projector PAIT might not be recognized in mix. Just typing in just about everything we can think of. Now these are all the people who have screen paint mixes that'll pop up right here. These are the mixes right here. See right here, these are all the screen paint mixes that'll pop up. Train it. We got the right category this time. But if I type his in, this is what we get. No match. Not even there. What if we narrow it down to put in eBay? eBay has certain keywords that'll bring your items up a lot faster. So sometimes if you're selling paint on here, you definitely want to put projector. Projector will bring it up faster than anything else, as you can see. So we'll just put down crow's mix paint. No, this one doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound butchered up. Let's put in crow's paint mix. That's what we're putting right there. Mix, okay? See what that brings up. See what I mean? Now, you won't even bring up any screen paints. I don't think you will. You'll bring up people painting pictures of crows. That's why I say you have to word things in a certain way or it's not going to come up. Now I got a bunch of pictures of crows on here. Well, you got one mix right here. Right there, we signed these ones right here. That's basically about it. Well, that's basically about it, what you want to get from there. So you have to make sure you put in projector. So let's put in, take out the paint, and let's just put in projector instead. Let's put down Peter. Projection doesn't work, just to let you know. All right, so if you put in just projector and you put in mix, then that's going to bring up a category of all, majority of mostly projectors, laser lights, and all that. That's a bad idea. You see that box right there, how they all got them all stacked in like that? Anything could be wrong with them, man. You could have smashed parts and everything, man. I wouldn't even buy a lot like that. I need to go check out some lots too while I'm in here. But this is what you get from here. So you have to put down projector paint. That's what you have to put down. That's what brings it up. See? You have to put in projector paint. When I tried, and I thought, no, because eBay has so many crazy restrictions, and they do. And people get, and eBay does not do the best of its job to protect its merchant. They don't do it. So you're better off just getting your own website at the end of the day. I think you're better off it. So no, his page doesn't exist up here. It's gone. He completely removed it. Because I'm pretty sure if the only way you can be contacted through eBay is pretty much basically for a phone number, or you basically can put up your email address. I'm pretty sure he's getting bombarded from anyone. Remember, this is before he sold on the website, he sold on eBay. So his original customers would have basically been on the eBay account first before the website. Those are the ones that probably would have been bombarding. Those are probably the ones that probably went in and did the side by side. And we challenge you to do the side by side. We challenge you today. So you got all the information. So I'm gonna come out of here. I'm done with all this nonsense right here. Let's wait. It's on my cat. My cat is in here. Boom, 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 boom. Just reading his summary. Well, at least in his summary, he spelled correctly in here. And that's hard. It's not easy. It's not hard to do. Everybody makes mistakes in the grammar, whatever. You don't have to spend the money for a grammar check. I'm telling people, like, don't do that because you spend the money for something. Meanwhile, don't do that. You know the cheapest way to check your grammar for free? Let me see if everything's spelled out correctly. Just go to your Hotmail account and just basically copy and paste the whatever you had written in that category. Hotmail has an option, or not option, but automatically it will go in and recorrect everything. You go over and you hit your mouse, it'll come up like a little red, and you click on it. But if you know the error is there, you should basically go in there and get that taken care of right away. Because the less mistakes you have in there, the worse. Yeah. All right, let me go over here real quick. Oh, he's probably, let me see. We were just in there a few minutes ago. That's digital1crystal screen paint right there. All right, it's free. It's up to you. At the end of the day, like I said, it's not my money. It's your money. You know what I mean? And I'm not sitting there crying in the room to me, oh my God, they didn't do the paint. That's your business. And it's your money at the end of the day. It's not mine. I'm good. I'm Gucci. I got no problem with that. But it's up to you how you want to do it. And like I said, Christmas time is coming up. Money's going to be tight for a lot of people, especially freaking at the end of the month. That's going to be crazy for a lot of people because some people are maxed out on credit cards. Like, ain't no freaking tomorrow. You know what I mean? You got to save money any chance you get. You know what I mean? If it's the better way, if a product can be backed up, then you buy it. If it can't, you don't. If I could back my product 100%, don't buy my product. But I had to back my product up because I use my product. You see how many screens I have sitting throughout my house? My technology is splattered throughout my entire house, inside and outside. If my technology did exactly what they said in the demonstrations and didn't pull up, it'd be virtually impossible for me to see anything when I walk through a live stream. Oh, man. I'm going to check out something real quick. He's probably in a rant right now. Telling him, how dare you? How dare you send me this to do? It's an impossible task. I can't. You're going to have to do it, buddy. You're going to have to do it. Let me see. I'm going to send something, man. Don't worry, Crow. I'm not coming here to buy, so I don't want you going to a frenzy and start jumping your price up to the roof. I'm not coming here to buy nothing from you. That's all. Just calm down. Question. And just humor me on this one. We've had this conversation before. Why would you name yourself Frankenstein? Do you know who Frankenstein was? By any chance? You read the book on Frankenstein, he was an idiot. He was a complete, utter idiot. I mean, regardless of the fact that he was born like in a daytime, but still he was a complete idiot. You know, of all the freaking monsters you could have called yourself, the classic, you could have called yourself a vampire, you know what I mean? Because your product works in the dark. I mean, not joking, but it does work in the dark better. But anyway, vampires are considered to be intelligent, smart, you know what I mean? So and so and so. But you named yourself after, like, you labeled yourself with Frankenstein. Frankenstein was a complete, utter idiot. He was afraid of fire. Literally was afraid of fire. He was afraid of everything that went off. And he had this freaking, he was an idiot at the end of the day. Mind you, I mean, you think about it, the person built him from spare parts out of the grave. You would think he would have got a better brain in the process, you know? Since you're shopping for spare parts anyway, you might as well just get a brain or something better, more of a, I don't know how that went down. But anyway, so yeah, Frankenstein was an idiot. He was definitely afraid of fire, and everything else on the face of the planet was terrified of. It wasn't like actually a very hard person for the mob to round up and try to kill, because, you know, he wasn't, I mean, he was strong and all, that's basically about it, but at the end of the day, he was afraid of fire. So, at least the Wolfman had some, yeah, it was intelligent creatures, and Dracula and all them, even the Mummy, they're advanced, but the Frankenstein, on the other hand, he was an idiot. He was not that smart. I thought it was interesting. If you ever watched the, I don't know which version it was. I read the book, and then they had the one basically had the TV. It wasn't a TV show, but it was a show that came on CBS, not CBS. It was like an old show back in the day. I can't remember what it was, but it was an older show back in the day. Back in like when I was about 8 or 9 years old. CBS had it. It was not documentary, it was like a show that they did, like a special show for Frankenstein. It was interesting to watch, man, to see it in a form on TV. But in the end, he realized that he made a mistake, that he should have never made him to begin with. He was a mistake. They went out in the middle of the Antarctic, and basically he caused an avalanche, and they froze to death in ice. That's the only way he could get rid of it. He just couldn't deal with it. He was just too, he was barbaric. He was out of control. All right, let me see. Let's see. 1 gallon. Yeah, you're not gonna make that right there. You can't back that price up. You can't back this product up. You're not gonna make that. You can't match it. I can match it to black and white paint. And that's the Cinemax. We'll have the Cinemax down here soon. I gotta make a phone call. I keep putting off on this phone call like, now I don't want to get it down here, but we gotta get it down here. Because, you know, he don't want to do these tests. We can test on this one right here. Still didn't go in and fix the spelling in here. I showed him he had spelling errors in here. Didn't fix it. Some people won't do it because they don't want to put refunds. Remember this right here? I told you about this. Shipping, free Unity. Yes, blah, blah, blah. Overseas surcharge of 70 bucks. Blah, blah, blah. Free shipping right there. Delivery. You spelled delivery incorrect, Crow. You need to go on and correct it. I think I told you about this about a couple of weeks ago. Or last month. That you need to correct that. That's not how delivery is spelled. Like I said, all you gotta do is spell it out. If your spelling is not that good, just go over to get a spelling checker. You can do it that way, or basically you can act like you're going to send an email to someone, put that in there, and they'll automatically show you areas where you make mistakes. You can go in and click and fix it from there and do it from that, and then copy and paste and put it back in, which is a lot easier. But you definitely spelled that incorrect. See right here, no exchange. So he has return policy and refunds policy. Once the product is delivered, no returns or no returns or refunds. No returns or refunds. Please make sure you ask questions before any purchases are done. Thank you. He has no exchange. Exchange needs to be in there. Because say like, okay, say if you buy the product and it's not to your liking. We have customization. You know that, right? We have customization. So we have lighter screen paints we develop. We have silver technology under Phantom. We just basically don't advertise it, but we do have it. It has to be requested. So we have a customer who come in and say, okay, I bought so and so and so. I need a request for something a little lighter, so and so and so. We can give you a special order. So they'll put the request in for the special order, and we make it for them. We ship it out for them. Now, at the end of the day, they can say, well, you want me to send the other stuff over? Nah, keep it. We don't want it. It's yours. We're just sending this over to you. It wouldn't be fair if the customer takes the time to buy your product, support your company, and then if something's not to his liking. That's why we tell you at the end of the day, when it comes to that dark technology, make sure you know what you're getting yourself into before you buy it, okay? Because some people are just coming off a white wall. It's hard to transfer off a white wall to a darker screen. Some people can accept it, some people can't. You're not going to satisfy everybody all the time. But for those of them, which is rare, that do pop up and may have this issue, we just send them out a silver version of the Phantom. They get that. We send out to them for free shipping, free of charge. We call it for the exchange for it. So that's what we do. Now, he doesn't have anything here at all, which means if you're stuck with this, you are stuck with this. The minute he didn't say open. Now it's different. Usually, and no, that's wrong. He can't say that. I can't say that. If it's open. So if the person opens it and uses it, it's yours. It's definitely yours at the end of the day. That's like trying to return mouthwash. I gargle half of this, but I can return this back if I want. No, it's yours. But we have the equal exchange in there to help you out. But on his end, it has to show if it's delivered, you're not getting your money back. He made sure he put that in there. Oh, he prepped for this one right here. He did. Because this was different. This was open cans of paint. But he has as return policy. Or see once the product is delivered, no returns. Yeah, that's what he has right there. I thought I read it right. Right there. Read it right there. Once the product is delivered, the minute that thing pops up on your front door showing it's delivered, you don't even have to you don't even open it up. So you don't even go inside of it at all, period. And you decide that you don't want it, you want to send it back, right? All right. We have a because mind you, the products cost money. And when we do it, sometimes it's going to be a surcharge fee because we have to pay money for the product. I lose money in this, all right? But chances are, most of the time we don't have it. When we do it with big orders, we're doing big companies, we charge them for that because, like I said, that money, it costs me money to ship that out there. It's pay reimburses on some of this stuff. But anyway, But we give the customer a chance to open it up and and try it out. But that's why we have all the video demonstrations, all the tests are done, so everything is out in the open. And sometimes we get some customers that try to do dirty things. Like I had one customer who went in delivery, set the settings down in his projector all the way down to low. That's why we asked you, we need a couple pictures. One, take that projector, slide it off your wall, because one incident we had, the lamp in someone's projector was dying, and the wall showed this black and white image worse than the wall, which showed at the end of the day that the lamp was having some issues. They needed to change out the lamp. Once they changed out the lamp, the screen was much better. We had one that actually changed the settings all the way down to low. So now we asked for your settings and your projector. Let me get a picture of your settings. So you popped it over, we know exactly what you're doing. He had everything set down past factory settings and then sat there and said, well, it was like this when I bought it. No, it wasn't. If you bought it brand new, everything would have been right down the middle. The only time the settings are changed over is you buy it used. That's it. So he put the settings in, everything was working perfectly. Some people would try to keep the paint and get their money at the same time. But I've been in the business for a while, so it is going to be extremely hard to do that one. But other than that, like I said, we'll have some people that'll get paint, maybe it might be a little too dark for them. And we're like, you got anything lighter? Yes, we do. We have a silver version of this. It's a requested. They'll request it, we'll put it in, and then basically we ship it out right to them, which I did last week. I shipped that one out last week for somebody, but it has to be requested. But he has it where you don't have any room for error, which means the minute it shows up, you can't return that because it's on his policy, but you can get around that. You can definitely get around that. That's easy to get around. He can't put that there. He cannot do that because you have to. How would you know if something was wrong with it if you don't get a chance to test it? That doesn't make any sense. That's like if you buy a brand new TV and they say, oh, well, the minute the TV leaves the store, it's yours and you can't take it back. Well, if you take it home and you plug it in and it looks strange and weird, how would you know it wasn't broken if you didn't get a chance to plug it in? That's what he just did literally right here. This changed. He used to have open cans of paint when open. Now he has just delivery. And you know why he has that? Because I told you his product is being questioned. So to make sure that money stays in his account, he can say, well, look, this is what my policy says. I don't care if you matched the black and white paint at the end of the day. As long as that package shows it was delivered, I don't owe you jack. That's what he just did to you just now. And you guys call us the deceitful people. All right, good luck with that one. Good luck with that one, because that's where you're going to go through some crap on that one. Now, the only way that you can get around that, if you go through PayPal, you basically can show your containers not open. That's why I never got a chance to test it out. I never got a chance to try it. But then again, he could also argue too, well, if you never got a chance to test it out and try it, how do you know it doesn't work? See, I mean, you're going to have a bit of a problem there. There's so many ways you can go about that. So he can end up winning that at the end of the day. Why? What is that? Why does he have I quart? It doesn't make it. Is that 1 quart? What the heck is it? Quart. He spelled it with an I instead of a 1. This is how it's supposed to be spelled. It's supposed to be 1 quart. He's got it spelled as I quart. Yeah, you need to get a spelling checker in here, man. You got a lot of. I thought I was looking like, what the freak is a freaking what is that? Oh, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, you put an I there. That's supposed to be a 1 quart. You put down I quart. That's another reason why you got to be careful too. Make sure all your spellings and everything is correct, because people read through that like, gee whiz, I am not sending my credit card and information for somebody is completely illiterate. Not saying he's illiterate. He just knows to put a spelling checker on this bad boy. All ship labels come with tracking information, basically right there. This is what you need to be concerned about right there. He changed that. Right there in front of the door. The minute that package shows up, boom, it's automatically going to show. Mind you, Wix, if you notice that when you order something, there's a little box that'll pop up for you to check. That's a policy box. All websites have them to make sure you understand exactly what you bought before you buy it. That's why we tell you about knockoff projectors and all that stuff. We don't support those right there. All that information's in there for you guys. This is all he has in his policy right here. Basically, it's it. There's not much in here. I mean, bottom line, he has personal mix, is great for movies, gaming, perfect for those light controlled environments, and it will work with 2000 projectors and up. That's basically about all he has in there. And then right here at the bottom, return policy, and then right here, tracking info, and that's it. That ain't much. Let's go over to my copyrights over there. Let's go swing over to Marketplace. I love my Christmas work on here. All right, so let's go pop over to Behr. Sorry about that. All right, so in here we got all the pictures lined up. This is what you're supposed to have. Now we have this because we can't ship overseas right now. We have a warning for COVID-19 up here. God is amazing, always giving praise to our Lord. Free shipping only in the US, you can see that. And in here, in this one, you got enhancement color coding technology 19, a fully ultra short throw compatible. Ultra, it says the screen size from 230 to 16:9, color black, the color's good to paint. Design of the paint, what it's called from there, 190-degree viewing angle, fully weatherproof, which we have on the side. For the ultra short throw, 4K and 3D ready. We have customers that have 4K projectors, yes they do. We have lumen count 1500 inside, outside. You have to know that he doesn't have the outside lumen count, so if you can use it outside, I don't know with this product. Do not use in direct sunlight. Best use in hours of 7 to 8, which you have to put that down, which are the best hours it actually activates. What surfaces you can use it on, whether you can use it on plexiglass, drywall, PVC, vinyl, wood, sheet metal, blah, 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 styrofoam, whole 9 yards. No priming required, something like that. Or use on fabric, paint on application, use 2 coats of paint when you're doing it on fabric. All that information is right in there. Use a paint roller or 1 to 2 coats. 30 drying time, 30 minutes with a fan. There's a fan, has it right there. Best applied with a nap paint roller. Some people will use other stuff and jack up the screen. We use a paint sprayer, low odor, low VOC, eco-friendly, cleanup, wash off without water and soap. 5-year lifespan, which is how long it was staying before it starts to deteriorate. Keep out of reach of children and pets, and then it has a summary at the bottom, blah, 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 and you're done. Over here, policy. Boom! Look at my policy. Dun, dun, dun. We told you to read this. Please read through my policy, please. Okay, we put everything in bold writing. Everything is here for you in bold writing for you. All right, returns. R, let's say R says a returns R. This needs to be taken out. That needs to be OUR. R, let's see. Yeah, that has to be OUR. So it has to be taken out right there. We got to change right there. So you got to go and check my own stuff from time to time. Are only eligible for equal exchange if proven to be the wrong color or wrong size. We are not responsible for any acts of God's holiday at God, not God's people. Holiday or any form of technical, holidays when your packages is in transit. By making this transaction, you're fully aware of our company's policy. Voila. But right there, yeah, equal exchange, which means at the end of the day, like I said, you get something, it's not something, so sometimes we'll bump you and we'll upgrade you. We've done that to a few customers. One customer was waiting to get the product shipped back to get a new product, but we launched something new. We just gave him the new product. Even though it was like a $200 difference, at the end of the day, we had leftovers. Might as well just send it out to him. So he's like, oh, thank you, whatever, enjoy. All right, so yeah, you should have the equal exchange in there. He just changed that because I remember his policy was open cans of paint. If you opened them up, now he has it where basically he can basically still keep your money if it just shows up at your front door. And I think that was put in there due to the fact, like I say, he's being pressured by people to do those demonstrations. And if the product gets there and the customer decides they want to return it, or they do that test or they do that demonstration and the paint comes up better than his product, then he can say, no, I sent it to you. You got to pay me at the end of the day because you signed the agreement. Jimmy Cat Corn and he don't care. Jimmy Cat Corn. Because I've never heard of that before. I've heard of open cans of paint. Not the minute it's shipped to your front door, because how would you even know if it, that's just making sense. All right, people. I'm gonna get some cereal. We're done here. I got to get back to work because I'm going to be in the shop working today. I'm going to finish the Pac-Man screen. If the weather clears up a little bit, just a little bit, we get some good weather out there, I can blast my giant screen. We can set it up because I want to do some driving off that giant screen. Some driving. If not, we'll find another screen we have in the house. We'll put it up on there and play with that a little bit. All right. Well, that being said, I hope you liked the long lecture, Partay and whatever. You can send your emails directly to my junk mail because that's where they're going at to begin with. I know Partay, but how dare Partay, I swear, has some form of, he got to have some kind of Napoleon complexes order. He one of those people that nobody can't tell him anything. Because I could see the way he was basically wording it out in his email. He's in there cracking up. By the way, Partay, your emails are basically posted to the forum site. We laugh at those things. Tell me, I'm going to sue you. Good luck with that, Barbie. Good luck with that. You're going to sue me for basically talking about your product? Yeah, what planet you freaking live on? You said it yourself. 5 to 7 days for a screen to dry. Yeah. The good thing your shopping carts are basically locked because at the end of the day, I should get you for fraud and that lie nonsense you got. Can't even deliver your products on time. Can't even deliver your products. How in the world do I buy your products and you can't even deliver them on time? Man. And then try to keep my money. My goodness. All right. I knew it. Hey, stay out of my room. I swear I got more problems with this cat coming into my freaking room. I don't want him in here. I'm going to have to put a latch and lock on the door today. This is what I'm concerned about, this acoustic screen. I don't want to mess with it. I'm going to put a lock on the door today. That's your own freaking room. How would you like it if I was in your room all the time? Well, I'm in your room 20%. All right, let me get out of here, people. I got to get up. I got things to do. I got work to do. I got orders to process for the day. As a matter of fact, there's one of the shipping labels right there. I got to take care of for the day. Now that we got love, what are we going to do with it? Oh, shoot, charger. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I need some footsteps. So I'm going back to work. Hopefully today, if everything comes in, we can start working on the pink unicorn today. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Every once in a while, I got to put one of those in there, man. Those two can basically get a reality check on basically some of the dumb stuff that they talk about on a day-to-day basis. It's just a reality check to them. And come on, take that dumb nonsense someplace else. You two need to knock y'all heads together, do the demonstrations that we've requested for you to do, back up your product 100%. Then you can come at me. Until you do that, I ain't got nothing to say to you. We're done after that. Crow and Partay, Danny, Jamie, whatever y'all call yourself at the end of the day, I got to get back to work. I got to do something what you should be doing. Producing an amazing product for your customers, not scamming them. Some black and white paint. All right, people, with that being said, I'm getting back to work. Thank you all.